Good morning. KSL News Time is 5 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
Today, the Utah State Board of Education has scheduled a meeting to mull over potential punishment for board member Natalie Klein.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, what's happened in this meeting and what's going to be discussed is being kept on the down low, but we do know that this is about Klein, who's been facing constant fallout from a social media post she made last week about a teenage girl. In that post, Klein shared a high school basketball promo with two girls who play in the Granite School District in that picture, writing the caption, quote, "Girls basketball, .. Murray and Mill Creek City Councils have called for Klein's resignation, as has the Granite School District. Governor Cox's office has also condemned her post and called on the board to hold her accountable. She did issue an apology on social media. Again, what happens in this meeting later on, it happens at 3. We'll keep you updated this afternoon. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson is responding to a series of problems during the Cache County Municipal General Election last November. Here's KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson.
A letter to County Clerk David Benson released Tuesday includes scathing review of the widespread violations of state election law found during a recently closed investigation into election issues there. Lieutenant Governor admonishes the clerk, saying, quote, "The 2023 Cache County Municipal Primary General Elections fell unacceptably short," end quote, under Benson's watch. Henderson has ordered Benson to review the report and to provide a written response to each recommendation from her office that was sent in a summary of findings and recommendations this week. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
Eye on the Hill 2024. Utah currently does not require youth service organizations to check if their workers are on a sex offender registry. A new bill could change that. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live with more. Peter?
Amanda, scout troops, sports leagues, and church organizations could all be affected by this bill. All youth organizations that have 25 or more children would be required to vet their volunteers and their workers on both the national and the state sex offender registries. For the workers that pass this test, they need to get training about identifying and reporting signs of child abuse and neglect. Now, if a youth group gets sued over allegations about a case of sexual abuse between its worker and a child, this bill would put them on the hook legally if they didn't check the sex offender registries or they hired the person despite their appearance on the lists anyway. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The future of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas' job is now up to the Senate after an impeachment vote in the House.
For the first time since 1876, a sitting U.S. cabinet secretary has been impeached.
We did exactly what we should be doing. Now it's up to the Senate to do their job.
But the impeachment articles are expected to be rejected by the Senate, which is controlled by Democrats. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calling the move a new low for House Republicans.
ABC's M. Wynn says it is unlikely the Senate will advance the impeachment. Mayorkas has been accused by the House GOP of failing to enforce immigration laws, causing a crisis at the southern border.
A protest calling for a ceasefire in Gaza shut down a major intersection in downtown Salt Lake City last night. KSL TV's Debbie Worthen was there.
Aziz Abu Zayed is Palestinian. This protest here on the streets of downtown Salt Lake City hits home for him. He's spent most of his life in Rafah.
I know of so many people, including my cousin, who passed away because of the extreme cold. She was 9 months pregnant.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has recently threatened to send ground forces into Rafah.
We got some wet roads to start the morning, so on First Look Traffic, Andy, even some snow looks like in Summit County.
Yeah, it's coming down in some spots. It isn't sticking hard to the roads in Summit County. You do have wet road conditions to deal with as you drive in this morning. At this point, though, thankfully, no crashes to slow you down, and you'll just have to deal with conditions as you get going. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
The Jordan School District is the first in the nation to officially adopt school AI into all of its classrooms. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson reports.
Jordan is now one of 1,500 school districts in America using artificial intelligence as a tool in their classrooms.
Specifically, teachers are using it to save a bunch of time when it comes to doing kind of the tedious administrative tasks, like building rubrics, worksheets, parent communication, drafting lesson plans.
Kevin Morrill, co-founder of School AI, says it also gives students real-time feedback and helps them develop critical thinking skills. Morrill says a few other school districts in Utah have also signed on to start using School AI, and another 10 to 15 other local school districts are in pilot programs. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
BYU's basketball team is now above 500 in the Big 12 after defeating the UCF Knights for the second time this season.
Waterman lobs it up for a Tiki! What a time for a Tiki alley-oop!
The Cougs led by as much as 19 points at one point, but the Knights had a furious comeback. We were talking before we jumped on the air here. The BYU shot 40 free throws in this game.
Wow.
But it sounded like it was kind of a hack-a-shack down the stretch.
Yeah, Randall said that the UCF had a bunch of threes in the last bit of the game.
Yeah, and so they were fouling and forcing BYU to hit free throws, and it ended up being a final of 90-88.
Oh, my gosh. Well, a couple of former BYU running teammates held a big party at Alpine last night now that they've qualified for the Paris Olympics. Connor Mance and Clayton Young will be running the marathon in the Olympics, and Mance tells KSL TV he needs to thank all the people who helped him along the way.
Going out to Paris, France to represent all of the people who've helped me out, especially my wife, it's been pretty special.
A group of former Olympic athletes attended last night's celebration.
A good number of Utahns have made their debut with Major League Baseball as we get closer to spring training. KSL News Radio's Michael Commett is live with the story. Michael.
Tim, fan interest has been growing for an MLB team to come to Utah, but even now we're seeing former college ball players hitting the big league. Here's just a few of them. You got guys like BYU alumni, Phillies Michael Rucker, Astros' Austin Deming, or Andrew Pintar with the Diamondbacks. Now from the Utes, CJ Cron just finished the 2023 season with the Angels after a mid-season trade from Colorado. Reporting live, Michael Commett, KSL News Radio.
Potentially slick conditions on I-80 and US 40 out of the Wasatch back. We're looking at snow in those cameras,
Yeah, it's
too.
back again.
And we had rain coming in this morning. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Spend time with KSL News Radio and get a deeper understanding of the world around us.
I do listen to KSL so much because you've got voices like Boyd Matheson.
I listen to him every day.
You can trust him.
Inside Sources, weekdays 1 to 3.
On KSL News Radio.
There are so many things that set Euromax cabinets apart from any other cabinet provider. The details can be a bit overwhelming, but let me give you a small sample. Each of their boxes are made from laminate with high-strength pressed wood core. They band all 4 edges of each piece using a waterproof and heat-resistant PUR glue that's the best in the industry. Their process virtually eliminates water damage, chipping, and greatly extends the life of your investment. Their LED lights are inset flush, so they look amazing wherever you put them. Whether it's inside glass cabinets, under the wall cabinets, or in the toe kicks, nothing adds a more luxurious feeling than lighting done correctly. When it comes to the face of your cabinets, the sky's the limit. They have access to all the cutting-edge products in the market. Simply put, the finest cabinet to be built and installed in the state of Utah. Go see their showroom in Pleasant Grove or start shopping their product at EuromaxFurniture.com. That's EuromaxFurniture.com. Euromax, built for you.
Sneezing, coughing, stuffy nose, runny nose, post-nasal drip, interrupted sleeping. I was groggy at the end of the day.
Allergies and sinus congestion were making Jana miserable. Then, a friend recommended Navage. Navage provides immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Navage helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
Navage gave me instant relief. I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I didn't have to wait an hour, 90 minutes. I didn't have to wait a minute. I ran the rinse and I felt better.
Stop suffering from congestion and start breathing and feeling your best again with Navage. Navage.
I've had people ask me how I find relief, and I tell them Navage immediately. This thing is amazing.
Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid.
Just in case you didn't hear it yesterday, late in the day, the Republican-led House narrowly impeached Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. That now moves over to the Senate, where it is expected to really go nowhere, but we'll follow the developments in Washington for you. KSL News Time 5:09. Time for a look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon, and we go back to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, despite some wet road conditions in Salt Lake County, we haven't seen any crashes yet. Good speeds, at least as far as it goes. Draper to downtown, a little bit less than 20 minutes travel time. And we've been pretty quiet both on I-80 and the 21st South Freeway from Tooele County into the Salt Lake Valley. Jason?
And as far up north as, say, Ogden, the roads are pretty dry up in that area there. But as you move further south, that's when the wet roads start to pick up. Centerville area, you start to get damp, and then it lasts all the way down into the Salt Lake Valley. So far, though, no accidents or other delays. Eric?
We've got snow falling in one of the cameras on I-80. This is a couple miles just west of the Kimball Junction exit. And if you're out on the Wasatch Pack, you do have slowdowns on I-80 from Partly Summit down over to the Silver Creek turnoff and on US 42 north of Jordanelle Reservoir. Down in Utah County, I-15 northbound and southbound is looking good. Get your money working at America First Credit Union with amazing rates on certificates, up to 5.5% APY for a limited time. Visit AmericaFirst.com today to learn more. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're looking at 48 this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, but clouds will thicken up into the evening. Overnight, we'll drop off to 38. Tomorrow, we're talking about rain showers, maybe even a little breezy by afternoon. High of only 46. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Look at that UDOT camera, a little Cottonwood Canyon.
That snow is coming down.
It is really coming down this hour, so
Happy Valentine's Day.
If you're planning on getting up to do some skiing today, expect there'll be a long wait. Again, right now it's 37 in Salt Lake.
So that congressional seat formerly held by George Santos in New York flipped to a Democrat. We'll have more on that coming up on KSL.
Stay with us. You'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
If you're on the journey of building your dream home, remodeling, or just want to brighten up some rooms, let the Blind Man be your tour guide into the possibilities 2024 has to offer. Window coverings balance functionality and aesthetics by managing light and privacy effortlessly. Whether you seek a captivating design element, enhanced privacy, light-blocking solutions, or an infusion of natural light, the Blind Man's consultants are here to navigate you through the latest trends, tailoring them to complement your unique style. Motorized and automated roller shades have emerged as the preferred choice in 2024. This is driven by features such as the convenience they provide for hard-to-reach windows, providing safety for both children and pets, and contributing to energy efficiency. The Blind Man's experts would love to help you explore the options along your journey. Visit theblindman.com today to set up a free in-home consultation. Theblindman.com.
From Ogden to St. George, Utah's premier window covering provider, The Blind Man.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep Medical. But first, take the time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep Medical delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines. They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. In the days of a poor night's sleep, Sound Sleep Medical will help. Call Sound Sleep Medical at 801-716-8672 for details. Sound Sleep Medical.
You know that feeling? You flush the toilet and it goes down okay, but you feel like it used to really whoosh when it went down, and now it's more of a gurgle than a whoosh, and that's probably okay, but what if that gurgle instead of a whoosh means there's actually a bigger problem down there? Whipple that away. Making gurgly drains whoosh again is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. We can solve your sewer problems in just one day. Visit whipplethataway.com.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. Everybody knows I'm a movie fan, but I have to tell you, when it comes to Fiddler on the Roof, I had never seen it before on stage. Hale Center Theater's production is spectacular, better than the movie. Absolutely loved it. And by the way, my wife, who's somewhat of an aficionado, she starred as Seidel in her performing arts college production of Fiddler on the Roof. She said, this is spectacular. You're going to love the choreography, and the staging is remarkable, and the tunes, the music is just overwhelming. It's wonderful. Plus, I've got to talk about one scene in particular. This is where Tevye brings back Grandma to convince the wife that Seidel shouldn't marry the guy she's going to marry. The use of the stage and the aerials is simply breathtaking. Don't miss Fiddler on the Roof. It's playing right now at Hale Center Theater. Pick up your season tickets, gift cards, and more. Go to hct.org.
KSL News Time, 5:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah State Board of Education has scheduled a meeting this afternoon where they're expected to talk about possible punishment for board member Natalie Klein following a social media post she made about a teenage girl. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the Jordan School District is the first in the nation to officially adopt school AI into all of its classrooms.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
So far, we're crash-free despite some wet conditions, although if you're going into Parley's Canyon, you're going to see some reduced speeds where the snow's coming down. And Little Cottonwood, Big Cottonwood, both currently open, but it is snowing in those canyons. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's, high of 48. I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's get a look at our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Republicans' razor-thin majority in the House of Representatives even thinner this morning following last night's election to fill the seat of now indicted former Congressman George Santos. Democrat Tom Suozzi, who held the seat for 3 terms, won it back in a decisive victory over newcomer Mazi Pilip. Suozzi last night, after Pilip conceded,
despite the dirty tricks, despite the vaunted Nassau County Republican machine, we won.
Last night, the House, by a 213 to 214 margin, voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, saying that he has not enforced laws at the southern border. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien, who was on Capitol Hill for the vote.
We've got a statement from the Department of Homeland Security that comes out right after this impeachment has now been formalized. They say, quote, House Republicans will be remembered by history for trampling on the Constitution for political gain rather than working to solve the serious challenges at our border. Again, that is a statement from the Department of Homeland Security.
The Senate is not expected to convict. A chaotic scene in Austin, Texas, at a hospital emergency room when the driver of a car plowed into the emergency room and was killed. 5 other people, including 2 children, were hurt. Stephen Hughes was there when it happened.
I just went down there to see what was going on. I didn't know if maybe there was an explosion or what. And people just started pulling people away from the area, and I could see it was a car that had crashed into the ER.
Former President Donald Trump expected in a New York courtroom tomorrow for a hearing in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Former media mogul Harvey Weinstein, the center of a hearing before New York's highest court. His lawyers asking the Court of Appeals in Albany to dismiss his 2020 conviction, arguing his rights were trampled amidst the Me Too movement. You're listening to ABC News.
Let's go in depth on that special election, congressional election in New York that has narrowed the Republican majority in the House.
We get the update this morning from America in the Morning's John Stolnis.
Democrat Tom Suozzi's defeat of Republican challenger Mazi Pilip comes a little more than 2 months after Santos was expelled from Congress on corruption charges and accusations he lied about his qualifications during his campaign. During his celebration speech last night, Suozzi had a message for the House GOP.
Stop running around for Trump and start running the country. It's time to find common ground and start delivering for the people of the United States of America.
Suozzi previously served as Nassau County's representative to Congress from 2017 to 2023. He chose not to run for re-election in the last midterms, instead losing a primary challenge against Kathy Hochul in his bid for the governorship. Democrats rallied around him to send him back following Santos's expulsion. Shortly after numerous news outlets called the race, Pilip took to the stage to concede.
And we did a great job. We are fighters. Yes, we lost, but it doesn't mean we're going to end here.
These 2 candidates could revisit this election in November, as both have committed to running for a full term. I'm John Stolnis.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just sad that every time during a campaign there's a call for, finding common ground.
But then they don't act in that way.
Then you get back there and you fall into line with,
Right.
one party, one side of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that all turns out in Washington, and that is the In-Depth this morning at 15:45.
5:19, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And over to you, Andy.
And right now, travelers through Salt Lake County looking good as you head from Draper to downtown. It's been good on Mountain View despite some wet conditions, although it does seem speeds are a little bit slower in the Kearns portion near 54 and 6200 south. But all clear through Tooele County, SR 36 from Tooele City on to I-80 and Lake Point. Jason?
And good speeds through Weber and Davis counties this morning as well. You're not finding any delays. If you're headed up into the canyons, you're not going to really see any problems there either. Those roads are fairly dry at this point up in Weber, Ogden, and Sardine Canyon. Eric?
If you're northbound out of Heber City this morning on US 40, we do have some spots of slowing. Got wet conditions from the River Road intersection up past Jordanelle Reservoir all the way over to I-80. And I-80 through the mountains, you've got snow falling in some spots, and you've got wet conditions and slowdowns eastbound and westbound from the East Canyon exit all the way over towards Jeremy Ranch. Down Utah County, I-15 looks good at the moment. For a limited time, open a 9-month certificate from Cypress Credit Union and get 5.6% APY. Learn more at any branch or visit cypresscu.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast going for a high of 48 today. Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's. Tomorrow, 46, rain in the morning, then showers. 47, partly cloudy on your Friday, keeping it dry with some clouds and sun on Saturday. High of 49. 48, rain showers on Sunday. Partly cloudy, dry, 53 on Monday. How about next Tuesday, though? Another storm trying to get in here. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
You know, I just looked at the radar. We were mentioning the crazy snow that was falling in Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Yeah.
It's already easing, and it was just like one big cloud that was passing through. But
those roads are snowy, though.
Yeah, there's just a track getting through there, so they're going to have to clean that up a little bit. Right now, 37 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Tonight on our air here at KSL News Radio, the Jazz take on the Lakers.
Yeah.
So
looking to get back on the winning side.
Yeah. It's a 7 o'clock tip. Tim and I have lower bowl tickets to give away. And we'll give you another keyword that you have to text to 57500. We'll do that at 8:45 this morning.
Stay with us for that. Tough day yesterday. The markets really took a beating. We'll see what the futures look like to start the morning when we check Money News next.
Do you enjoy fishing, hunting, or just soaking in the beautiful outdoors? Then you need to check out the KSL Outdoors Show, airing Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and midnight on KSL 5 TV. Outdoors with Me, Adam Eagle, is a unique show that takes viewers on a journey through Utah's beautiful backcountry. Watch it live every weekend or find the Outdoor Show on YouTube, KSLOutdoors.com, Facebook, and Instagram. It's the KSL Outdoors Show, brought to you by Camp Chef.
IVC is celebrating 20 years providing quality service in Utah. You've probably heard their saying by now, life starts when the pain stops. IVC is the most trusted interventional and vein center in the state, and they've been voted Best of Utah Valley 10 years running. The 7 physicians at IVC provide state-of-the-art, comprehensive vein care with many years of experience. The team at IVC takes the time to get to know you and your veins so you're comfortable with the right diagnosis and the right treatment. Patients are like family at IVC. You've also heard many radio ads over the years with real people describing how IVC has dramatically improved their quality of life by eliminating the pain and discomfort caused by varicose veins. Well, what are you waiting for? Don't let vein disease slow you down even one more day, because life starts when the pain stops. Visit iVein.com today to set up a free screening. That's iVein.com.
Higher taxes, soaring inflation, record low interest rates, and the skyrocketing cost of healthcare. The list goes on. Retiring successfully today is a lot more complicated than ever before. Learn how you can tackle the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement today. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio. It's this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL News Radio 1027.
A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
Sign up for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. JetBlue shares are up more than 18% after activist investor Carl Icahn took an almost 10% stake in the airline. Icahn purchased shares in January and February, saying that he believes JetBlue's stock is undervalued and represents an attractive investment opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think he really believes that. But what's stopping a guy that can move a market like that from just buying a bunch of shares, take the 20% gain, and jumping right back out?
I don't know. Maybe nothing.
That's crazy. Valentine's Day is meant to celebrate the depths of feeling we have for loved ones, so it may be surprising how much of the shopping is done at the last minute. You try to get a card on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, or flowers.
Seen all the guys that are lined
Yeah,
up
it's
in there.
fun.
Walmart says around 75% of its Valentine's Day sales happen on February 13th and 14th. Open Table says last year, 30% of their Valentine's Day dinner reservations were made the day before, and 18% were made on the holiday itself.
Hey, it's as long as you get it. Who cares if it's at the last minute?
Yeah.
I was surprised to see this morning. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Cinderella are trying to unionize. Disney Park cast members and labor organizers say the performers want better safety conditions and scheduling policies. While most of the workers at the Disneyland Resort already have labor unions, about 1,700 performers and character actors do not. I always worry about those guys in the suits.
Yeah.
Because
Especially
of how
on
hot it
summer
gets.
days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I actually saw Goofy, poor Goofy, just pass out one day.
Oh, really?
Which the kids were, obviously those that were waiting to see Goofy and watch the whole thing unfold
Yeah.
were a little traumatized by it.
Don't we all remember the first time we saw Mickey Mouse?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first time you saw that character, I was an adult the first time I saw him,
Yeah.
and I still was all aflutter.
Becky went to Disneyland. I took her to Disneyland first time in her life at 42 years old.
Oh, wow.
As a surprise. And she kind of had the same reaction.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go back on what happened yesterday. It's forgettable, but the Dow was down about 1.3, almost 1.4%, with a drop of 524 points yesterday. The NASDAQ was down almost 2 full percentage points. Looks like we'll get a little of that back this morning. The Dow is up 98. The S&P is up about 24. That's 0.5%. And the NASDAQ is up 0.5% or 116 points.
We had a little rain driving in this morning, and there is some snow up in the canyons. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
The nationally ranked Cougars are on a roll.
Foose dives low, wait, up, and good! Drops it over the 10 for 2.
Saturday, it's BYU, Oklahoma State.
Khalifa down the lane, still gets there, and lays it up and in! He was coast to coast like buttered toast.
Pregame is at 11 and tip-off at 12. Listen Saturday, BYU, Oklahoma State, on Utah's legacy home of Big 12 basketball and the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
5:29. Let's get that look at the drive again. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. How are we looking, Andy?
Right now, we're okay still without any crashes in the Salt Lake Valley, so no extra delays beyond what you might see because of some wet conditions, especially southwest corner of the valley, Mountain View, Highway 111, Backus Highway. and even some of New Bingham Highway out west of Mountain View. You may see some extra travel time, but for the most part, traffic coming out of Tooele, okay, and so far I-15 at the full speed limit from Draper to Salt Lake. Jason?
The further north you get, the drier the roads are. So up in Ogden, Marriott, Slaterville, places like that, the roads are pretty dry up there. As you get further south, down through Farmington, Centerville, North Salt Lake, and into the Salt Lake Valley, that's where the roads are wet. Now, so far, however, we don't have any accidents on any of the roads there. I-15 and the side streets are all looking really good. Eric?
Well, if you're exiting I-80 at Kimball Junction, expect some snow on the road, and actually snow is falling just a couple miles before the Kimball Junction exit if you're eastbound this morning. So you've got slowdowns on I-80 and US 40 along the Wasatch back down in Utah County. I-15 rolling along at a normal pace northbound from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain. That's a 24-minute drive. All machines are discounted during the embroidery sale at Dave's Bernina in St. George and Provo. 48 months, no interest, and amazing buy a machine, get free gift offers. Great bargains on previously loved machines. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today we'll have clouds. Look, we've had some rain and snow already in this early morning hours, but mostly clouds today with a high of 48 degrees. More rain tomorrow. Right now it's 37 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 5:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Utah state lawmakers have voted to pass legislation that affects how many voters need to sign off on initiatives that raise taxes.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live with details. Adam?
Amanda, this bill and joint resolution would require any initiative that introduces a new tax or increases an existing one to get 60% of voters to sign off on it rather than a simple 50% majority. Representative Jason Kyle is the bill sponsor.
It's dealing with taxes. This will not address any other type of voter initiative.
Now, this would also amend the state constitution, so if it's signed into law, it will appear on a future ballot for voters to sign off on it. It's already passed the full House and just got a thumbs up from a Senate committee, and now only needs the approval of the full Senate and Governor Cox. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories now. House Republicans voted last night to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas along party lines. ABC's Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill.
Mayorkas is only the second cabinet secretary in American history to be impeached. The last time this has happened was the 1870s in the administration of Ulysses S. Grant. Democrats say that this is a political ploy. Republicans say they are accusing Mayorkas and now have impeached him for the ongoing situation at the U.S. southern border.
The Biden administration calls the impeachment politically charged. The U.S. Senate is not expected to advance the impeachment.
Utah's members of the House were united in their votes in the Mayorkas impeachment. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston continues our live team coverage. Peter?
Amanda, all of Utah's representatives voted to impeach. Congressman Blake Moore made the second try at impeachment possible by making a strategic no vote during the last impeachment attempt. He tells David Dujanovic why he is for sacking Secretary Mayorkas.
To this point now, this is an act of sheer desperation from Republicans to say something has to be forced, something has to change.
Congressman Burgess Owens posted on X that the secretary failed to follow the law, lied to Congress, and willfully facilitated the worst border crisis in American history. Representatives John Curtis and Celeste Malloy have not made a public statement. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Gas prices are up. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson explains why.
The cost of a gallon of gas has gone up 10 to 15 cents since this time last month in Utah. And AAA spokesperson Julian Paredes predicts prices will continue to creep up for the next couple months.
A big part of it is just seasonality. Gas prices normally just go up around this time anyway. As we get closer to spring, the temperatures warm up. When more people start traveling, more people go on vacation. So demand for gas goes up.
Paredes also says the supply has become more expensive because of tensions surrounding Israel and Ukraine. Fortunately, gas is still nearly $1 cheaper than last year in the Salt Lake City area. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
A Utah Highway Patrol trooper who fell off of a bridge yesterday remains in the hospital but has stabilized. KSL TV's Andrew Adams is following the story.
Investigators said Highway Patrol troopers were trying to stop a SUV with spikes.
One of our troopers was injured as he fell off of a structure onto a surface street down below.
according to police. Officers in Salt Lake City attempted to stop a suspect in a drug investigation.
The suspect police was trying to stop has a long criminal history, mostly involving drug-related charges.
Even parents are saying cell phones have got to be taken out of the classrooms. Here's KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Governor Spencer Cox has been trying to get schools to implement stricter cell phone policies for a while now, and it seems most Utahns agree. 69% of adults say they support rules about keeping cell phones in lockers or backpacks at school. The support was the strongest among people 57 and older. 80% say they support the policy. That's according to a Deseret News poll. Those most recently out of school have different opinions. Respondents 18 to 24 years old support it significantly less. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Well, right now, if you're on I-15, the drive's still clear into and out of Salt Lake. But if you're on I-80, if you're going to Park City, you'll see some reduced speeds as you go up over Parley Summit, where the storm has been a little bit worse. And it is still snowing up on I-80, although it doesn't appear to be accumulating on the roads. A lot of splashes kicking up. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Some Utah farmers and ranchers are trying new ways to improve the health of their fields and save water.
It seems counterintuitive, but not tilling fields or using fertilizer are improving the soils. Also, using cover crops that are not harvested save on water and the cost of chemicals, machinery, and irrigation. Ton Bettis, horticulturalist and co-host of the KSL Greenhouse, says it also deters weeds.
If the ground is shaded, then weed seeds are a lot less likely to germinate because of the competition from the cover crop.
Bettis says the method also works for home gardens, but home gardeners should not work the dirt until it defrosts. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
A group called Braver Angels is hoping to make politics a little less divisive here in Utah and around the country. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit joins us live. Michael?
Amanda, Braver Angels hosts workshops where Republicans and Democrats will meet in groups and then with each other to dispel rumors, address stereotypes, and then find common ground. In our neck of the woods, those meetings have been especially helpful, especially when people attended after the DEI rulings.
They were admitting some things that, their own shortcomings, things they could do better. They were expressing a desire to work together more. I know some of them have been having bipartisan lunches weekly since then.
Now, volunteer Casey Jorgensen says we can learn a lot from each other when we acknowledge our own party's imperfections. For many she's worked with, finding the truth is a strong common goal. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Jim Ryan joined us earlier this week to talk about the cost of roses in some places like Boston. No surprise, Valentine's Day spending is expected to go up this year.
According to the National Retail Federation, the average American will spend about $185 celebrating Valentine's this year, with the nation as a whole spending an estimated $25.8 billion. The NRF study asked more than 8,300 customers about their Valentine's shopping plans. Nearly 60% say they're planning on delivering some candy. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
We have some reduced speeds on wet roads on I-80 and US 40 in the Park City area this morning. We'll check it all. Traffic and weather together coming up next.
Bigger stories demand more accountability, more experience, more trust.
If it's like an election day or we're expecting some bad weather,
KSL presents the story. Unbiased.
It's a good local source.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Made to Shine. Love stories from Shane Company customers.
My wife's been working long weekends, so instead of just taking her out to dinner on Valentine's Day, I'm going to surprise her with a gift from Shane Company. I stopped by, and they showed me some really beautiful diamond heart necklaces. Right away, I knew that'd be something she'd love. I hope it reminds her how much I love her every day.
Our diamonds are hand-matched for consistency and sparkle, so your love will shine forever. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
See the high-flying dunks, show-stopping blocks, and crowd-silencing threes at Delta Center this season. With an action-packed schedule, it's easy to get to a Jazz game. Pick out an unmissable matchup or just a tip-off time that works for you. It's time to put on your Jazz gear and head to the game. Come with a friend, a loved one, or as a group. See all available tickets and options at UtahJazz.com or call or text 801-355-DUNK.
Boy, this Deseret News poll this morning, and I guess I'm not surprised, 69% of adults say that they support the rules of keeping cell phones out of the classroom.
No problem. I'm down with that completely.
I wonder how many parents would take the heat off of the schools and make your kids leave your phone at home on school days.
Or at least put it in a locker. You know, if you need to have access to it before or after school, fine. But don't take it into the classroom. Put it in a locker.
Yeah. But you know the nightmare after being in a classroom.
Oh, for sure.
Of kids sneaking one in their pocket,
and
or
I've seen
having it under the desk.
Teachers have such different. You know, some teachers I would come in and they would say, absolutely no cell phones.
Yeah.
If you see a cell phone, you take it to the front office.
Yeah.
And other teachers were more lax about that. So different classes were different.
Be good to have a standardized rule across the board. It's something we're keeping an eye on this morning with the help of Alexandria Bonilla.
5:39, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy? Hello, Andy.
Well, right now, if you're traveling through the valley, I-15 still in good shape, at least despite some wet conditions. It's more wet to the south of the valley than as you get towards downtown. You turn off your windshield wipers, at least for now. It is getting a little heavier 33rd south, though, as you come over from West Valley towards I-15. And some heavy traffic along Union Park and 700 East, especially just north of I-215. Jason?
31 minutes. That's your travel time right now. Southbound I-15 from Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. That allows for a little bit of wet roads once you get down into the Centerville, Woods Cross, and Rose Park area. Otherwise, though, you're going to be at good speeds, especially further up north where the roads are dry. Eric?
Out in the Wasatch Back, they are not dry. No lack of wetness on the roads as you head north from River Road intersection. That's north of Heber City, up past the reservoir, up to the Park City turnoff. And on I-80 itself, you've got eastbound and westbound slow spots from Parley Summit down to the Silver Creek area. And continuing on past that, if you're eastbound heading out to Colville and places like that. So expect some wet roads out there and some reduced speeds in spots. If you're down Utah County, no problems northbound or southbound on I-15. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on Fifth South and Bountiful. Durden's, branch you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds on the increase this afternoon, but a high mild in the upper 40s. Overnight, we'll drop off to 38 with showers increasing. Tomorrow, we're talking about 46 for a high. Rain likely in the morning, then showers by afternoon. It might even get a little breezy out of the west. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees downtown.
So the foreign aid package bill passes in the Senate. It goes to the House, where the Speaker probably won't even put it on the floor for a vote. But Democrats are trying to come up with this very rare maneuver to force a vote. I want to understand what that is.
Boyd was walking us through some of the crazy, things that could take place.
Yeah.
With all of the different legislative moves and the procedures back there, I guess.
Yeah, we'll learn more from Stephen Portnoy just ahead on KSL.
All right, we'll try and explain it to you next. Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's time for the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show.
The RV show you've been waiting for, February 16th through the 19th.
RVs, adventure, sports, and more. ABC4 Utah and Utah's CW30 invite you to the buying event of the year at the Mountain America Expo. Find the RV of your dreams with special show financing.
You'll see and buy from the largest selection of 2023 motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, pop-ups, campers, toy haulers, trucks, RV accessories, and more.
Book your hunting, fishing, and RV travel destination. Learn from fly tying experts. Register to win a guided fishing trip at RW's Fishing Lodge in Alaska.
Outdoor gourmet cooking with Chef Brian and Dutch Oven experts.
It's all at the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show, Thursday, February 16th through Sunday the 19th at the Mountain America Expo.
Charles is waiting. Buy tickets online and save $2 at UtahRVShow.com. Kids 12 and under are free.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. If you spend thousands of dollars and years of your life becoming a knowledge worker, I have some news for you. It's not over. Depending on your specialty, knowledge has a short shelf life. If you want to retain or increase your value, you'll need to keep learning for the rest of your career. Research today shows that most knowledge workers spend 20 to 25% of their time learning, and much of that learning occurs with work teams and other colleagues. That's more than one day in every work week spent in formal or informal learning. Learn how to learn better with an MBA from Utah State University. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
KSL News Time, 5:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a bill that would increase the number of voters needed to approve tax increase initiatives is gaining steam on Utah's Capitol Hill. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the average American is expected to spend about $185 celebrating Valentine's this year.
Third, it's a look at traffic and weather together.
Our speeds have been pretty solid this morning on the freeway, I-15 anyway. If you're going into Parley's, you got the wet conditions, and conditions only get worse the further east you go. Highway 40 also having some issues between Heber and Park City with wet and snowy conditions. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds and sun today for your Valentine's, high of 48, then rain showers tomorrow. I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's check our top 10 national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The House voting to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over the Biden administration's handling of the U.S.-Mexico border. The vote was tight, even with the arrival of Republican leader Steve Scalise, who has been away for cancer treatments. The numbers in the House of Representatives even narrower as New York Democrat Tom Suozzi wins the seat held by the now disgraced George Santos. Suozzi, after his GOP opponent, Mazi Pilip, conceded.
There are divisions in our country where people can't even talk to each other. All they can do is yell and scream at each other. And that's not the answer to the problems we face in our country.
The driver of a car that crashed into a hospital emergency room in Austin, Texas, killed last night. 5 other people at the hospital were hurt, 2 of them children. They're trying to figure out why it happened. Palestinians have begun evacuating another hospital in another town. This time it's Khan Yunis in the south, following weeks of heavy fighting there. This is ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth here. The $95 billion foreign aid package is expected to run into tough opposition in the House.
And the House voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy joins us live from Washington. Will that aid package even get a vote, Stephen?
It's a really good question, Amanda. We don't have an answer this morning. This House Speaker simply says the House will work its will, and he's disappointed that the Senate did not send over to the House a measure that includes border security. He says that that's part of national security, and you can't have a national security funding measure without addressing border security. Of course, it was Senate Republicans who stripped out and blocked the bipartisan border compromise that had been agreed over months between Republicans and Democrats because they had it in mind that Speaker Johnson wouldn't put it on the floor. He called it dead on arrival. You had the former president, Donald Trump, calling it a stupid measure, and so it was stripped out. And so now the question is, what will the House do? You heard Sherry Preston just a moment ago say that the majority in the House on the Republican side is that much thinner this morning with the election of Tom Suozzi, a Democrat from New York's 3rd Congressional District, replacing the expelled Congressman George Santos, which means that now going forward, Speaker Johnson can afford only 2 GOP defections in party line votes. That makes it that much more difficult for him to govern. And last night, as we described, the House of Representatives, by a single vote, impeached the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. So the sense you're getting when it comes to the foreign aid measure is that there is no plan. One option for Democrats, because they know that if it were put on the floor, it would pass with a majority vote, with enough Republicans joining with enough Democrats to get it over the line. One option is to use the rarely invoked procedural measure known as a discharge petition. It involves the collection of more than 218 signatures on a petition presented to the clerk of the House that calls for a vote on the floor despite the objections of the Speaker. It's very rarely used, and yesterday Speaker Johnson urged his colleagues on the Republican side not to sign on to it. But there are probably enough Republican defense hawks who would sign on to it. The question really is, will progressive Democrats sign on to a bill that provides billions of dollars in funding for Israel? You saw in the Senate it had 70 votes, members of both parties lining up behind it. Let's see what happens in the House.
Ooh, that's interesting.
But even with that discharge petition, forces a vote, but there's no guess as to which way the vote might go.
That's exactly right. And there are opportunities that the leadership might try to take to stymie that effort. There's a whole bunch of really, really esoteric procedural moves that could take place, and it has to ripen, which means it's not an easy path. And as I say, it's politically perilous, even for Democrats, because some progressives might fall out of line if they had previously been expected to get behind it. So the bottom line is, until Speaker Johnson is able to reach an agreement with his colleagues on the Republican side, never mind across the aisle, Democrats, it's not clear how this foreign aid measure will become law.
If you have 2 seconds, Stephen, so what happens to that impeachment from the House? Does it necessarily get a trial in the Senate?
There are a couple of options for Democrats who control the Senate. Obviously, they see this as all baseless. They can dismiss the charges out of hand, or they can refer it to a committee for review. When judges are impeached, that's usually what happens because there are serious substantive charges. Rather than taking up the full Senate's time, they send it to a committee to review the allegations and then make a recommendation.
All right. Lots going on back there. As always, Stephen, thanks for trying to sort it all out for us. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington.
On the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
Let's get the check of the early morning drive here with traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy's back in the traffic center.
Well, Tim, expect some wet conditions if you're on I-15, but not as bad as it is if you're going to go up into Big or Little Cottonwood Canyons. Those are both still open for now without restrictions, but we'll see how that goes if the snow keeps coming down especially up towards the resort portion. Haven't seen any delays yet on I-80 coming out of Tooele. Jason?
It remains accident-free and delay-free up in Weber and Davis counties. Your major feeders over to I-15 are also moving at regular speeds. No problems in the canyons. Legacy, 89, West Side Belt, they're all moving along very nicely this morning as well. Eric?
You still got snow falling in some spots of I-80 if you're heading out to Park City this morning. The delays are actually on the westbound side right now, so if you're leaving Kimball Junction and then heading through the mountains, expect some spots of slowdowns from the top of Parley Summit out to the East Canyon exit. That's on the westbound side. The eastbound side, the delays start after you go past Kimball Junction. I-15 in Utah County, northbound, southbound, that's looking good at the moment. Common Spirit, hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with a lovely Valentine's forecast. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 48. Rain showers likely tomorrow morning, then breaking up, high of 46. 47, partly cloudy on Friday. Saturday, 49, dry as well. Rain showers on Sunday, 48. Then we pop it up to the 50s next week with a chance for showers on Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's cloudy and 37 degrees. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We'll check in with Mitch and get a little look back at Squeaker last night for the Cougs. Stay with us.
Maybe Washington didn't ski. Maybe Lincoln didn't shred. Okay, could be, but I know they'd have no objections to you taking a run in their honor. So get ready. President's Weekend at Bear Lake is simply the best of Utah and the best place to celebrate our president's big days. You'll uncover 3 of the most beautiful cross-country and snowshoeing trails in Utah. Or jump into a snowmobile and catch some awesome trails and over 350 miles of backcountry snowmobiling. No matter how you like your winter sports, Bear Lake is ready, and President's Weekend is the perfect time to celebrate. So pack up the family and play your way. And when you choose President's Day to play in the snow, you'll find family-friendly getaway and lodging deals, too. Start at bearlake.org and learn more about President's Day at Bear Lake. bearlake.org. Lodging, activities, family events, even ice fishing. It's winter at its best, all at Bear Lake. Visit bearlake.org for details. bearlake.org.
If you're trying to decide which gutter protection to put on your home, don't just ask how they'll handle leaves. Ask how they'll handle ice. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and that's right, ice. See, plenty of gutter guards are good at keeping out leaves, but most are made with flimsy materials that can bend, buckle, and break under the weight of too much ice. Kind of a big problem in an icy state like Utah, right? At RGS Exteriors, our exclusive gutter protection systems are built Utah tough. They're made with premium strength materials that hold up to 1,200 pounds of ice per square foot. Simply put, they're not going to budge. Our gutter guards are also certified to handle hurricane-level winds and rain. Mother Nature can't damage them. Guaranteed. Utah Tough Products. That's the RGS way. For a free estimate, call 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com or 801-280-3110.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333. Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Watching Utah's Money is brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. ESPN and college football playoff have reportedly agreed to a 6-year deal worth $1.3 billion. I think that's annually. Annually. It will allow the network to keep exclusive rights to the 12-team playoff through the 2031 season. Officials say negotiations are ongoing.
Wow. Let's get a look at your money at this moment. And after a rough day yesterday, the futures are up. Dow futures up 99. That's 0.25%. S&P futures up 24. That's 0.5%. NASDAQ futures up 115. That's 0.6.
Time for Cougar Tracks, brought to you by Central Bank CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. Visit cbutah.com. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
On this Valentine's Day, there's a lot for BYU coach Mark Pope to love. For starters, his team defeated UCF 90-88 to put them over 500 in Big 12 play for the first time this season. Then BYU tied a Marriott Center record for most made free throws in a game with 40 in last night's win.
I should definitely be coach of the year, that I actually managed to get our guys from a 50% free throw shooting team to a 95% free throw. 90? What is that? What is the math? 87. Listen, the game is going to have some anomalous moments, right? And so we had a little bit of an anomaly last game, but we still won the game. And that's the beauty of this team right now. And we had very different anomalies tonight. You know, I didn't know that we would win a game this year, getting to the free throw line 46 times, but I dig it, man. Give us another way that we can win a game. It's actually super cool.
BYU is now 18-6 and shifts its attention to a Saturday afternoon game at Oklahoma State. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Are you a startup, entrepreneur, or business owner looking for funding? Look no further than Central Bank's CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. CB Vault understands the unique challenges faced by business owners. CB Vault is here to help you start, grow, or thrive with a dedicated help center for startups and entrepreneurs, providing personalized financial solutions, networking, and guidance for every step of the way. With a range of services tailored for startups and small businesses and expert financial advice to flexible loan options, CB Vault helps you get funding and allows you to keep your equity. Whether you're seeking funding, planning expansion, or navigating the financial landscape, CB Vault's team of experts is ready to assist you in turning your vision into reality. Don't let financial barriers hold you back. Central Bank's CB Vault is here to unlock your business potential. Visit CB Vault today at cbutah.com. Central Bank, voted best bank in Utah Valley. Strong, local, secure. Since 1891. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers. But we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on the KSL Teacher Tribute Wall, presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio. 5:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Right now, travelers on I-15 still in good shape despite some wet conditions. No crashes yet on the freeways or city streets in the Salt Lake Valley, but if you're planning on going into Big or Little Cottonwood Canyons, it is snowing up towards the top of the canyons, but the canyons are still both open for now without restriction. Jason?
And we have reports of an accident. This is going to be Highway 193 at 10th West in Syracuse. It looks like it's affecting traffic in all directions there, so you might want to give that intersection a miss. I-15 itself, though, is looking good, and the rest of your highways and side streets, we got no trouble. Eric?
And we got a new crash reported if you're on the 215 southbound moving away from I-80 from Murray into Taylorsville. This is around 1200 west, and this is over on the right shoulder. I-15 Utah County looks good right now, northbound, southbound from Provo to Lehigh. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit New Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We've already had a day of it weather-wise. We had some rain in the valley, some snow in the mountains that's moved on. 48 later this afternoon. It's 37.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 6 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
Today, the State Board of Education will meet to discuss whether Natalie Klein should be punished for a social media post she made that appeared to be cyberbullying a teenage girl.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more live. Adam?
Amanda, today's meeting follows growing calls around the Wasatch Front for Klein to resign, all stemming from a photo she reshared on social media of two girls, high school basketball players, one of them who has shorter hair and muscle tone, writing above that photo the caption, quote, girls basketball, ... Among those demanding the board hold Klein accountable is Governor Spencer Cox and Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson.
I certainly believe that she should resign. Natalie Klein has no business being in any kind of a position of authority or trust over children. She has lost all public trust that she should have ever had in that position.
Mill Creek, Murray, and Salt Lake City councils have also called for her resignation, as has the Granite School District. Klein did apologize on social media. Today's meeting, though, is at 3 o'clock. Reporting live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Utah's Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson sent a scathing letter to Cache County Clerk David Benson about violations that took place during last November's election. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson reports.
The letter orders Benson to review and respond to an accompanying report that lists 31 findings and recommendations. Among the findings were some ballots that were not properly handled, documented, or stored. The office did not use state elections software to properly document and process challenge ballots. Recommendations include a review of the Utah Elections Handbook, Utah election law, administrative rules, and direction from the Lieutenant Governor's office to ensure Cache County is fully compliant with the law. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
Eye on the Hill 2024. Youth organizations from church groups and sports leagues could soon be required to do background checks on volunteers. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live. Peter?
Amanda, as of today, Utah does not make youth service organizations check if their volunteers or employees are on a sex offender registry. So two Provo lawmakers are proposing a bill that would hold groups accountable if they don't vet their workers, or if they hire on a person after finding them on a sex offender list. Bill sponsor and State Senator Keith Grover tells the Daily Herald this takes just a 20 or 30-second search online. The bill would also require youth service groups to train their staff on how to notice and report child abuse, and as an enforcement mechanism, any youth organization sued for a possible sex abuse case would count as negligent if they fail to check a worker's name on those sex offender lists. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. For only the second time in U.S. history, a presidential cabinet member has been impeached. Here's ABC's M. Wynn in Washington.
The Republican-led House narrowly impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
The yeas are 214 and the nays are 213. The resolution is adopted.
After a failed effort last week, they accuse Mayorkas of failing to enforce immigration laws, triggering a crisis at the southern border that has resulted in millions of illegal migrant crossings since President Biden took office.
The impeachment articles are expected to be rejected by the Senate's Democratic majority.
Over 200 protesters calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war blocked off the intersection of 400 South and 400 West in Salt Lake City last night. KSL-TV's Debbie Worthen was there.
Denise Weaver is one of the organizers.
This cause is important to me personally because all of our liberation is tied together, and there's no freedom and there's no liberation or democracy here for me if there's no liberation in Palestine.
Organizers say they chose a busy intersection to make a point and to get officials to take notice.
Andy's here with your first look traffic.
Tim, we've got snowy conditions going through Parley's Canyon, reduced speeds. We've got a little bit of slowing along 215 South Belt right now going underneath I-15. It actually appears to be right where the ramp from North 15 comes and joins up with westbound 215 to head out towards Taylorsville. They did move the crash over to the shoulder, so not sure if that'll keep the delay there for very much longer as it was when it was in traffic. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
One of Utah's largest school districts will now use artificial intelligence in the classroom. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson explains.
The Jordan School District is partnering with a company called School AI to bring learning to a whole new level. The AI will help teachers track their students' progress and give teachers more insight on how to help. It can also give students personalized, real-time feedback. Another benefit is that School AI handles a lot of administrative tasks for teachers, giving them more time with their students.
The company says more than 20,000 teachers nationwide have already adopted AI in the classroom.
In sports, the BYU Cougars survived a late comeback by the UCF Knights to win their 6th Big 12 game.
Jackson Robinson, corner three. Go! Jackson Robinson!
Of course.
80-69. BYU by 11.
Yeah, they weren't having any fun at all down there. The UCF Knights cut down BYU's 19-point lead to just 2 points, which included making 4 3-point shots in the final minute of the game.
Man.
The final was 90-88, and the Cougs will now play at Oklahoma State coming up Saturday.
Beautiful. 2 former BYU training partners held a celebration in Alpine last night as they prepare to run the marathon in the Paris Olympics. Connor Mance and Clayton Young were given advice by former Olympians, including silver medalist Meb Keflezighi, who says having 2 close friends qualify together is unusual.
Very unique because you don't hear that every day or just once an opportunity, and I hope they can help each other.
Mance and Young are the first Americans to qualify for the Paris Marathon.
Can you believe it? Major League Baseball is going to have pitchers and catchers report today, and there's a pretty good number of players with Utah ties in the big leagues. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has that story. Michael?
Tim, the spotlight comes as Utah's been making a real effort to bring an MLB team to the state. Until that happens, here's a few of the guys who have made their MLB debut. Now, arguably, the most notable is BYU alum Michael Rucker and Utah alum CJ Cron. Rucker played for the Chicago Cubs after the 2016 draft. He was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies only last week. Cron, meanwhile, is a free agent. He's Utah's first ever round selection, debuting with the Los Angeles Angels back in 2014. He's been on 4 other teams since then and finished off the 2023 season after a midseason trade from the Rockies. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
We have a crash in Syracuse this morning on SR 193 that's affecting travelers at 10th West in all directions. We'll check that and the rest of your commute just ahead.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Dave and Dujanovic.
They have a good dynamic between the two of them.
Sometimes I'll take Dave's side and sometimes I'll take Debbie's side.
They're great.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
Believe it or not, most small businesses don't have a 401k. If you don't have a 401k, you are missing out on the greatest wealth creation tool ever created. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and many 401ks are overpriced for the employer, have expensive and underperforming investment options, and have tedious administrative provisions. Not at Trajan Wealth. We can set up a 401k for a company for only $8 per employee, a $65 per plan fee, plus a small advisory fee. That's right, not thousands or even the tens of thousands you've been quoted. And do it all in less time than it takes to sit in traffic. If you have 5 or more employees, these 401ks will help you attract and retain top talent. And if you're an employee and don't have a 401k, tell your boss. Call Trajan Wealth today. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Services offered through a third-party partner.
Imagine talented vocalists performing your favorite songs with the full power of the Utah Symphony. Our Pop series features amazing guest artists performing pop, rock, jazz music, and more in collaboration with the orchestra, bringing you an elevated concert experience sure to blow you away. Join the Utah Symphony on March 1st and 2nd at Marisa Brovnal Hall for a thrilling tribute to Louis Armstrong and the jazz standards he made famous. A Grammy-nominated singer and jazz trumpeter join for songs like Someone to Watch Over Me, I Got Rhythm, The Birth of the Blues, and many more. This tribute to Louis' legacy is guaranteed to jazz up your night out on the town. Then, on April 12th and 13th, groove as the symphony is joined by the ABBA Show Band, celebrated by millions worldwide. With powerhouse singers, vibrant costumes, and infectious energy, Direct from Sweden delivers hit after hit, the music of ABBA. Get your tickets at utahsymphony.org/pops.
Don't miss the Utah Symphony's Pop Series. Get your tickets at utahsymphony.org/pops. 6:09, time for a look at traffic and weather together. That's brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. I see some flashing lights on one of those UDOT cameras, Andy.
Yeah, we've got a crash on 215 at the south end as you head underneath I-15 out towards Redwood Road. For a minute, it was causing some delay as they blocked up traffic on the ramp from North 15 to go west on 215. Now, everything's all on the main flow itself and over to the shoulder. So far, that's about as bad as it gets in the Salt Lake Valley. Bangerter, Mountain View, and I-80 out of Tooele, not seeing any extra delay. Jason?
So we see lots of flashing lights up in Syracuse, SR 193 at 10th West. Can't really zoom in far enough to see exactly what's going on, but it does appear that it's affecting traffic in all directions in that intersection there. So just avoid that intersection if you can. Otherwise, the rest of your highways and side streets up in Weber and Davis counties are moving at regular speeds. Eric?
Heading out of Heber City this morning, expect some slowdowns on US 40 because of the road conditions. We've had snow falling there next to Jordanelle Reservoir and on I-80 around Jeremy Ranch this morning and every place in between. But it's not severe slowdowns in most places, but you do have them in spots. If you're out on I-80 right now, the slowing is westbound going up over the top of Parley Summit. I-15 in Utah County, northbound, southbound is looking good at the moment. Don't let tax problems ruin your life. Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox handle the IRS so you don't have to. Visit TaxHelpUT.com. That's TaxHelpUT.com. Eric Butler on the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, we're looking at partly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 48 degrees for your Valentine's. If you have evening plans, it should stay dry, but clouds will thicken up. Overnight, we're going to drop off to 38 with a couple of showers increasing. Tomorrow, we're talking about morning rain, then showers by afternoon, temperatures in the mid-40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy out there to start the day, 37 degrees.
I saw where the 2024 was called the Year of the Lunar Lander. That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But there's another opportunity coming up. There's a third effort just around the corner. Jim Ryan will give us the details just ahead on KSL.
So you're saying it should be the year of the attempted lunar lander.
So far.
They've had 2 strikes at it. We'll see what happens with the next one. Remember to stay with us here on KSL News Radio, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. It's tough these days to figure out where you should put your money to get the biggest bang for your buck, literally. But we've got a great idea for you. At Utah Community Credit Union, they have these great high-rate savings options that can earn you up to 5.5%.
I mean, how'd you do in the market? I'm not sure that it did 5.5%.
Yeah, no.
Depending on what you're invested in. But this is just do you have money sitting in a savings account? Can you leave it alone for a few months? Why not earn more on that money?
Yeah, and in the case of a savings certificate, which is what we're talking about here, you just put one deposit in up front, and then you let it ride over a fixed period of time, as long as 5 years. But UCCU knows that not everybody can, lock up their money for that period of time, so they've come up with 6 months, 9 months, even 1 year deals.
I think this is just so smart. We met with our friends at UCCU yesterday, and I have never known a group of people more dedicated to helping Utah families every way possible financially. This is what they live for, and this is just yet another way.
I asked Brad during lunch, I said, what are those meetings like when you sit in a room and say, what's your biggest problem with your financial life? And then go around the table and figure out a way to solve it.
They brainstorm how to solve it.
It's great stuff. Find out more about these great high-yield savings certificates, 5.5%. Just go to uccu.com.
Utah Community Credit Union. You're going to love where you bank.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time, she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
If you've ever set New Year's resolutions before, you know how difficult it is to follow through because you have to wait to see the results. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and in honor of your New Year, New You resolutions, Any Hour Services is having our New Year, New System sale. From now until the end of February, Any Hour Services will give you $2,024 off a new furnace and air conditioner. And you don't have to wait to save the money. You get $2,024 off at the time of purchase. The only thing you have to do to qualify for our New Year, New System sale is call Any Hour Services and schedule a free estimate. When you call, there's no obligation to buy. Just schedule a time to meet that works best for you. Let me say that again. From now until the end of February, when you have Any Hour Services install a new furnace and air conditioner, we'll give you $2,024 off. Call Any Hour Services right now and schedule a free estimate. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
today the State Board of Education will meet to discuss whether Natalie Klein should be punished for a social media post she made that appeared to cyberbully a teenage girl. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Utah's Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson sent a scathing letter to Cache County Clerk David Benson about violations that took place during last November's election.
Third, a check of that drive with traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic is doing pretty well despite some wet conditions. A crash in Clearfield causing some delays around 1000 West and SR 193. And then we've got a crash on 215 South Belt near I-15 that's slowing you just a tiny bit. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's, high of 48. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The House seat once held by now indicted Congressman George Santos has gone blue. The special election held in New York on Tuesday, resulting in a W for the Democrats. ABC's Aaron Katersky's in Nassau County, New York, with more.
This morning, Republicans' razor-thin margin in the House of Representatives just became thinner.
It's time to move beyond the petty partisan bickering and the finger-pointing.
Tom Suozzi delivering an election-year victory to Democrats, flipping the seat held by disgraced ex-Republican Congressman George Santos. Voters turning out in a snowstorm to send the three-time former congressman back to Washington, defeating Republican candidate Mazi Pilip, a mother of 7 who served in the Israeli military.
If Suozzi had been elected a little earlier, his vote would have tied the results of last night's impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Here's ABC's M. Wynn.
The Republican-led House narrowly impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
The yeas are 214 and the nays are 213. The resolution is adopted.
After a failed effort last week, they accuse Mayorkas of failing to enforce immigration laws, triggering a crisis at the southern border that has resulted in millions of illegal migrant crossings since President Biden took office. The Senate could take up the impeachment by the end of the month. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
The White House releasing a statement blaming House Republicans for even bringing the $95 billion Ukraine and Israel funding bill up for a vote, not bringing it up for a vote. The president at the White House.
Supporting this bill is standing up to Putin. Opposing it is playing into Putin's hands.
GOP leaders wanted border security included in an aid package, but rejected a bipartisan bill put forth last week. The weather forecast for Kansas City today, sunny and in the low 60s. Perfect weather for a Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. Up to 1 million people are expected to be there for it. You're listening to ABC News.
Let's go in depth here. There's been 2 failed lunar landings this year, but will the third one be the charm?
ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan joins us live. What's coming up, Jim?
Well, actually, it was supposed to happen last night, but didn't. So you can't call it a failure yet. They only scrubbed the mission last night because of some kind of methane issue, a methane temperature issue with the SpaceX rocket that was supposed to carry the Intuitive Machines device to the moon. They will try it again early tomorrow morning. Before 1 o'clock Eastern time, they'll attempt another launch. But yes, this one is still sitting on the launch pad this morning.
Technically, Japan's mission did land on the moon, Jim. It was just upside down, so I guess that doesn't count.
No, essentially it's useless. About as useless as the Peregrine was that went up and eventually made its way back to Earth, burned up in the atmosphere, didn't make it to the moon as it was supposed to, Tim. So, yeah, this new launch, this Intuitive Machines flight, which is supposed to happen now, early tomorrow morning, may be our best shot at an unmanned lunar lander in place in any time the next month or so.
What's different about this one from the Peregrine?
It's on a different rocket, first of all. Now, we can't blame the rocket for what happened last time around, but this is a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. We've seen these used over and over again, literally used over and over, because that rocket makes its way back down to Earth. It's refurbished, it's cleaned up, and it's put back in service for future launches, Amanda. So, yeah, that's different. The device is a little bit bigger. It's the Nova C lunar lander is larger than the Peregrine. What's also different? This one was built in Texas.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Jim, thanks for the update there. Something to keep an eye on. Here's the other thing. This is a pretty short mission. It's only going to be there for 2 weeks doing experiments.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go through for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but just to get it there safely and have it land and function will be something.
Yeah. Our thanks to ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan for helping us out on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
6:19, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, travel through Salt Lake County is still in good shape on I-15. 215, they cleared the crash we had underneath I-15, so that's back to normal traffic there. Speeds might be a little bit under what you'd like for Mountain View going through West Jordan and West Valley because of wet conditions. Tooele County is starting to slow down a little bit at the intersections northbound in Stansbury Park. Jason?
SR 193 at 10th West in Syracuse, or Clearfield if you will. It seems to be right on the border. Anyway, we've got this accident there. It's affecting traffic in all directions. You're going to be kind of slow, especially if you're trying to head eastbound and over towards I-15. So find an alternate route around that accident if you can. 89 Legacy, Westside Belt, and I-15 all moving at regular speeds up north. Eric?
We still got slowdowns along the Wasatch back on US 40 north of Heber City past Jordan Reservoir. When you get to the Park City turnoff, it's not as bad. And westbound on Kearns Boulevard into town, at least at the moment, we're not seeing any delays. Snow has been falling on I-80 drivers, particularly at Partley Summit and Jeremy Ranch. And right now, you still got westbound slowing up over the top of the summit. Down Utah County, I-15 northbound, southbound is in good shape. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast going for a high of 48 today. Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's. Tomorrow, 46, rain in the morning, then showers. 47, partly cloudy on your Friday, keeping it dry with some clouds and sun on Saturday. High of 49. 48, rain showers on Sunday. Partly cloudy, dry, 53 on Monday. How about next Tuesday, though? Another storm trying to get in here. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 37 degrees, and your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Say, if you haven't done this already, text the word jazz, just by itself, J-A-Z-Z, to 57500. You can get entered to win these Lakers tickets for tonight, but at 8:45, we'll give you another word and another chance.
These aren't just any tickets either. They're lower bowl
and
just fantastic seats. So look forward to doing that for you just before we sneak out of here at 9 this morning, and then you could be there tonight to cheer our Jazz on to victory. Coming up in a minute, we'll see what's happening with money news. The markets, last time we checked, the futures were all in the green. Hopefully it's still that way. Next.
I am a soul line dance instructor.
This is Rhonda.
I just love dancing, so I was always willing to dance through the pain, but it was really starting to catch up with me. I've had foot pain, leg pain, everything pain.
And this is Rhonda's Good Feet story.
I was using any and everything that I could to help alleviate the pain.
None of that worked. Until?
Since visiting the Good Feet store and incorporating the arch supports into my life, I definitely have not felt the pain. I can't even really verbalize just how much better I feel. My mood and my energy has just drastically improved. I'm still actually in awe. Wearing the arch supports and being pain-free now, I am able to dance longer. Dancing is just a joy.
Now that is one heck of a Good Feet story.
I do want to tell everyone about it.
And now you have.
So, yeah.
See how we can help you with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get the power of doing it right. Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget. The power of experience. We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get the power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I gotta change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $36.99.
What do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
And do you have oil for my old work truck?
You can find the right high mileage oil to help it go farther right here at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Actor and filmmaker Kevin Costner is opening a film studio in St. George. Costner recently filmed a movie here in Utah and reportedly fell in love. Well, it happened to me too all these years ago. Territory Film Studios is expected to put $3.24 billion into the local economy.
I think he fell in love with Utah before that because Yellowstone used to be filmed here.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm
up
sure,
near Heber, right? Wasn't it originally?
It was in the Park City area.
Yeah.
But he was also seen during Sundance roaming around in full cowboy hat and boots.
Oh, that's awesome.
On Main Street. A man's going to serve up to 8 years in prison for running an unlicensed Bitcoin exchange business. Ian Freeman owes 29 victims more than $3.5 million in restitution. Prosecutors say that Freeman created a business that catered to fraudsters targeting elderly women with romance scams.
A first edition Harry Potter book is up for auction. It's expected to sell for thousands of dollars. The rare first edition copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was donated to a charity shop. All of the money from the book will go toward helping the animals in their care.
All right, let's take a look at how the markets are doing. These are futures, obviously, but trying to recover some of the losses from yesterday. The Dow is up 130. The S&P is up about 26.5, which is 0.5%, and the NASDAQ is up this hour by 121.
Roads are moving pretty well from Ogden to Provo on the freeways. We'll check it. Traffic and weather together coming up next.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan, taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. You know, inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
The nationally ranked Cougars are on a roll.
Foose dives low, wait, up, and good! Drops it over the 10 for 2.
Saturday, it's BYU, Oklahoma State.
Khalifa down the lane, still gets there, and lays it up and in! He was coast to coast like buttered toast.
Pregame is at 11 and tip-off at 12. Listen Saturday, BYU, Oklahoma State, on Utah's legacy home of Big 12 basketball and the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
This week's movie show brought to you by Sound Sleep Medical. Get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep Medical with 7 locations in Utah.
6:29 means traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. We go back to Andy Farnsworth.
Right now, if you're on I-15, all clear from Draper to downtown. We've got a little bit of slowing building 56 west, 1300 south, and a little bit heavy on Mountain View going through West Valley. All the intersections through West Valley up to 3500 south. Jason?
Speeds remain good on I-15, 89 Legacy West Side Belt, and every other side street except SR 193 on the border of Clearfield and Syracuse at 10th West. That accident still muddling up that intersection there. You're also a little bit busy right now at the south and west gates of Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
We still got wet roads on the Wasatch back and some slowing northbound and southbound from the River Road intersection north of Heber up to Jordanelle Reservoir. Now, past that, you do have a little bit of northbound slowing getting on to I-80, but once on I-80, it's not as bad as when we start things off this morning. You've got a pretty steady movement heading out into the valley, and down in Utah County, I-15 continues to look good. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brands you know, at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We had some rain earlier this morning. We'll get more rain tomorrow. Today's high will be about 48 degrees, 46 tomorrow, and that's not the last storm. After tomorrow, we're going to get some more rain, it looks like on Sunday, snow in the mountains, and then on Tuesday of next week, so we're in a wet pattern here, which is great. Today, we'll have clouds and 37 degrees right now.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 6:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
More Utah lawmakers are backing legislation that affects how many voters are needed to pass initiatives that raise taxes.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live with details. Adam?
Amanda, Representative Jason Kyle's bill and joint resolution would require any initiative that introduces a new tax or increases an existing one to get 60% of voters to sign off on it rather than a simple 50% majority. Rusty Cannon with the Utah Taxpayers Association explained to a Senate committee why he believes this would be a good thing.
Raising the threshold to pass an initiative puts a check on these out-of-state special interests who want to increase taxes on Utah families to fund their priorities.
Now, it only needs the approval of the full Senate before it goes to Governor Spencer Cox's desk, even though if he signs it, voters will have the final say in November since it would amend the state constitution. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Now our top national stories this hour. House Republicans voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas last night, while Democrats accused the GOP of putting policies over the Constitution.
We've got a statement from the Department of Homeland Security that comes out right after this impeachment has now been formalized. They say, quote, House Republicans will be remembered by history for trampling on the Constitution for political gain rather than working to solve the serious challenges at our border. Again, that is a statement from the Department of Homeland Security.
ABC's Jay O'Brien says Republicans want to hold Mayorkas accountable for the situation at the southern border. The impeachment not expected to get through the democratically controlled Senate.
Utah's 4 members of the House voted unanimously to impeach Mayorkas. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston joins us live with their reactions. Peter?
Amanda, Congressman Blake Moore actually voted no last time, but that was a strategic vote to be able to bring this back up again. He tells David Dujanovic why he's actually for impeachment.
Jim Mayorkas has had a dereliction of duty. He has violated the law by not adhering to certain standards within the immigration code and allowing for the catch and release program to exist actually is against the law.
Congressman Burgess Owens also defended his vote against the secretary, writing on X that, quote, it's not extreme to demand accountability for the chaos at our southern border. Representatives Malloy and Curtis have not yet made a public comment. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Looks like gas prices are creeping up again. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson has more on what we can expect at the pump.
A gallon of gas will cost you about 10 to 15 cents more this week than it did last week. AAA says it's normal for prices to start inching up at the end of February as drivers prepare for spring and summer travel. Prices are also on the rise because of tension in the Middle East, impacting the global oil supply.
The state average is now up to $2.87 a gallon, which is about 90 cents cheaper than this time last year.
A Utah Highway Patrol trooper remains in the hospital this morning after falling from a bridge while trying to spike the tires of a suspect. KSL TV's Andrew Adams is following the story.
Utah Highway Patrol said everyone's thoughts were with the trooper who was badly injured during the ordeal.
They want to know that they're safe. They want to know that they're going to be okay. They want to be there.
and try to help.
The man, Highway Patrol says, faces a long road ahead, but troopers are grateful he survived his fall.
The suspect was wanted as part of a drug investigation, and he was later captured.
A majority of Utahns think cell phones should not be allowed in the classroom.
69% of adults say they support a no cell phone policy in classrooms, requiring kids to keep them in their lockers or backpacks. The poll from Deseret News found the most supportive age group was 57 years and older. 80% think a policy should be in place. The most recently graduated age range, 18 to 24, were the least supportive. Only 17% support a ban in the classroom. Governor Spencer Cox has been pushing for a cell phone ban for a while now. Ogden High is the only school to have put a restriction in place so far. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and let's go back over to you, Andy.
Amanda, we still have the crash going on SR 193 at 1000 West on the west side of Clearfield. We still have wet conditions for your I-80 drive through Parley's Canyon. And so far, at least for now, we still have pretty decent driving conditions on I-15 between Ogden, Salt Lake, and Provo. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Some Utah farmers and ranchers have cut back on using fertilizers and tilling their land as a way to save water and create healthier crops. KSL greenhouse horticulturist Ton Bettis says overworked soil leads to erosion.
So the soil becomes a lot more hard and compacted, and water is more likely to run off of it instead of through it.
This method of farming involves planting cover crops after the harvest that adds nutrients to the soil. He says the same methods can work in your home garden.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has returned home from the hospital after needing treatment for a bladder issue related to his prostate cancer surgery. The Pentagon says Austin is well and has, quote, resumed his full functions and duties.
A group called Braver Angels is trying to make politics less divisive. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit joins us live. Michael?
Tim, Braver Angels hosts workshops where Republicans and Democrats meet to address their party's imperfections and work together. They're doing quite well here in Utah. Volunteer Casey Jorgensen's seen firsthand how people learn to let go of bitterness.
The other person may have the same exact values you do. Sometimes we just stack them differently.
One example where she's seen people find common values is in immigration.
Some people feeling like one solution is more compassionate than the other solution, but they both are trying to be compassionate.
In some cases, these meetings have gone so well, some people are trying to send their group's findings to Congress. You can learn more about these meetings on Braver Angels' website. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
How much do you love your Valentine?
A lot.
Valentine's Day spending is expected to be up this year.
According to the National Retail Federation, the average American will spend about $185 celebrating Valentine's this year, with the nation as a whole spending an estimated $25.8 billion. The NRF study asked more than 8,300 customers about their Valentine's shopping plans. Nearly 60% say they're planning on delivering some candy. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Coming up in just a moment, we have some wet spots in the mountains, but I-15 is running at a normal speed this morning. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
A legacy of news and information going back generations.
I'll have the radio on. I learned that from my mom. She's listened to KSL her whole life, and I grew up listening to KSL radio too.
I really enjoy listening in the morning.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I'm proud to tell you we don't lay off employees when things get tough. During the pandemic, we didn't let one of our installers go. Instead, we had them clean and remodel our offices so they could still get paid. Remember the 2008 housing crisis? It was a financial nightmare for even the biggest contractors. Still, we didn't lay off a single worker. Nope, we sacrificed profits to keep paying everyone. Look, when the economy's down, most contractors are quick to lay off their workers. It's the easiest way to save money when times get tight. But at RGS Exteriors, we're loyal to our people. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do. People first. People always. That's the RGS way. For gutters, siding, windows, and more, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com, 801-280-3110.
Hi everyone, it's Congressman Blake Moore here. It's been a busy start to 2024 and I am hard at work advancing Utah's priorities in Congress. From passing critical federal budget reform legislation in the House Budget Committee to pushing a historic bipartisan tax package in the House Ways and Means Committee, my team and I are digging in on pro-growth, pro-family policies. I'm also using my new role as Vice Chair of the House Republican Conference to bring a voice from Utah to the leadership table. As the first Republican from Utah elected to House or Senate leadership, I am grateful to advocate for your values in this capacity. I have many updates I'd like to share with you, so please join us for my upcoming Teletown Hall on Thursday, February 15th at 1 p.m. by dialing in at 833-305-1678. That's Thursday, February 15th at 1 p.m. at 833-305-1678. I'd love to hear from you. Visit my website at blakemore.house.gov for more information and sign up for our weekly e-newsletter. Thank you, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
We've had a couple of great listeners who have reached out to us on the text line this morning wondering about the condition of that highway patrolman that fell from that bridge yesterday trying to put the spikes out for that suspect that was on the run. We understand that he's still in the hospital, obviously, but that his condition has been stabilized.
That's good.
That's what we know for now, but we'll continue to follow the story for you this morning. And thanks for your concern for one of those great officers.
6:39 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, travel through the valley right now on I-15, still good, but if you're taking 201, a little bit of slowing creeping in Magnus, 7200 west, and a little bit of an I-80 slowdown westbound right before the Lake Point exit as you head out to Tooele County. Jason?
Your trouble spot remains 10th west at SR 193 at 10th west in the Clearfield-Syracuse border. It's very heavy, slow traffic now if you are eastbound. You're going to definitely want to find an alternate route around that, maybe up to 3rd North, maybe down to Antelope Drive, whatever it is. I would stay away from that intersection if you're trying to head east, especially if you're trying to head eastbound over towards I-15. A little crowded right now at the west gate of Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
Snow and wet roads making for some slow going northbound and southbound on US 40 from the River Road intersection north of Heber up to Jordanelle Reservoir. North of that, it's a little bit better going past the Park City turnoff, which, by the way, isn't bad so far this morning, westbound on Kearns Boulevard. And then all the way up to I-80, we are just seeing a touch of congestion trying to get onto the freeway there. I-80 through the mountains was a little bit rougher earlier. Right now, despite the wet roads, we are moving at a pretty decent pace. Along the 215 East Belt, no problems heading north from Cottonwood Heights, heading up towards Foothill Drive. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. President's Day sale happening now at all Two Brothers Mattress locations and online at twobrothersmattress.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're looking at 48 this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, but clouds will thicken up into the evening. Overnight, we'll drop off to 38. Tomorrow, we're talking about rain showers, maybe even a little breezy by afternoon. High of only 46. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now in Salt Lake City, those clouds helping to keep things a little bit warmer overnight. 37 this hour.
I was just chatting with you off the air about how grateful I am that I don't have to date at this time in my life.
Oh, boy, I have friends that have nightmare stories.
I can't believe how much money people spend on dating apps.
Yeah.
It's serious money.
And then if you're, playing the field and looking, to go through as many possibilities as you could.
Then you're paying for dates.
Date night.
Yeah.
Yikes.
More on that. We'll talk with an ABC technology reporter, Mike Dubusky, just ahead.
All right, but right now it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
His name is Duncan Robb. He's from Chesterfield, England, and he did it for love. Duncan made plans to fly with his girlfriend to Northern Ireland. And to make Valentine's Day even more special, he got a great deal on tickets to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers, his girlfriend's favorite band. Oh, was she excited. Duncan posted a picture of the tickets on Facebook, and his friends said, "Dude, read the ticket. You're seeing the Red Hot Chili Pipers. It's a bagpipe band." Well, despite the disappointment, the couple enjoyed the show because nothing says romance like bagpipes. I checked. Looking for the perfect Valentine's night soundtrack, I went searching for romantic bagpipe music. There isn't much. Oh, I found rock music. Do you love rock and roll, Joan Jett? You like Metallica? There's bagpipe Metallica, sure. And if you want to get your gaga on, Roma, Roma, ma. Or you can get happy. But for those saucy moments on Valentine's night when you turn the lights down low, maybe bagpipes will leave your date gasping for air. But don't be surprised if the night ends with the words, "I have a headache."
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox. IRS harassing you? The law offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Back in 2004, got a letter from the IRS indicating that I was no longer married, and therefore they were to change my filing status to single.
We were really upset.
I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. Listen to what actual clients have had to say about working with us.
As soon as we met Jordan and he started talking to us, number one, he made us feel like we weren't the imbeciles that the IRS had made us feel like for so many years.
I'm Jordan Wilcox. Let's solve your IRS tax nightmare.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Visit taxhelput.com or call 801-657-5951 to schedule your free consultation today.
We can move forward with confidence and assurance that we're okay.
That's taxhelput.com.
It's marvelous, just marvelous.
KSL News Time, 6:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah's members of the House of Representatives all voted to impeach the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, a gallon of gas will cost you about 10 to 15 cents more this week than it did last week.
third, it's a look at the drive with traffic and weather together.
Speeds on the freeways still okay, especially I-15. Yet to see any delays from Ogden to downtown. Through the Salt Lake Valley, some heavy traffic starting to creep in Midvale, but not backed up yet. And I-80 conditions have improved a little bit over the summit, but you're still going to be kicking up a lot of splash. Doesn't look like it's snowing like it was initially. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds and sun today for your Valentine's, high of 48, then rain showers tomorrow. I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A chaotic scene inside a hospital in Austin, Texas, when a car plowed right into the ER. This is what it sounded like as the vehicle slammed into a wall. The driver was killed. 5 other people were hurt, including 2 children. They are now trying to determine exactly why it happened, but as of now, police say they think it's purely an accident. The candidate who won last night's special election to replace disgraced Congressman George Santos is Democrat Tom Suozzi in New York, his victory further narrowing the Republican majority in the House. Last night, by a 213 to 214 vote, the House impeached Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for the way the Biden administration has handled the situation at the border. White House today criticizing House Speaker Mike Johnson for blocking the $95 billion aid bill. This is ABC News.
We told you the Valentine's spending is up, and that includes Valentine's hopefuls. More Americans are spending money on dating apps.
ABC News technology reporter Mike Dubusky joins us live with the details. Okay, Mike, this is how dumb I am. I didn't realize that dating apps cost money.
I don't think you're alone in thinking that, because when dating apps kind of first hit the scene, Tinder, many years ago now, they offered free tiers. They were essentially free services, and that has continued. Most of the major dating apps that we see kind of crop up do offer a free version of their service, but if you want to make your profile more appealing to others in the app's estimation, well, then you're probably going to want to sign up for their subscription services. All of the major dating apps, we're talking about Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, are kind of the top earners here, offer various subscription tiers, and that allows you to vaunt your profile into a more exclusive circle of people, potentially more attractive, more curated matches. There's also other revenue streams that these apps have played around with, sort of like one-off transactions where you can, pay a one-time fee and get a chance to, message someone who didn't match with you, give yourself a a second chance, in other words. And we've seen certain apps like Bumble experiment with non-romantic features, right? The ability to use their algorithm to match you with friends or potential business partners. And that gets at this sort of existential problem that dating apps have faced, which is that if they work really well, if they match you with someone that you really hit it off with and you start a relationship, well, generally you delete the apps. So they kind of need to keep this attractive to people, and they need to keep people sticking around on these apps. And I think that's why you're seeing them experiment with these different features.
You look at these numbers for downloads just in January alone. There's a lot of lonely people out there.
Certainly. And not only are we spending more time on these apps in terms of downloads, right? Downloads are up more than 5% over last year, 13 million downloads, installs, I should say, in January alone in the United States for dating apps. $206 million were spent on dating apps in the United States last month. We only spent more on streaming apps when we're talking about the app market. That means Disney Plus and Netflix. So these things are making a lot of money, and it's a trend globally as well. Just about $500 million were spent on dating apps just last month alone in the global marketplace. And both of those are records, both the global and the domestic figure there, breaking the record set in April of 2020. And we can kind of read the tea leaves as to why people were feeling a little lonely around that time. But yeah, suffice it to say, it is a very popular and, as we've seen, sort of very lucrative part of the app market.
Man.
Isn't it something that all of this technology that is supposed to be social, supposed to bring us together, has actually put us in basements where we have no interaction with people?
That we have to use an app to find a friend even. That makes me sad. But that was a wonderful report, Mike. Thank you for that.
Of course, guys.
Mike Dubusky with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
All right, 6:49. Let's see what the drive looks like this hour. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy's back in the traffic center.
I-15 traffic still clear in the valley, but you got some northbound delays coming up on Bangerter at 47th and 35th South. You've also got delays on Mountain View coming up on 3500 South. To Willett County, SR 36, you're okay for now. No extra wait times through Stansbury Park or Lake Point. Jason?
And we have no trouble on any of the highways through Weber and Davis counties this morning. In fact, the only problem we got is still this trouble on SR 193 at 10th West. Very thick if you are headed eastbound towards that intersection. Looks like the intersection part of it may be closed now. So definitely find an alternate route up to 3rd North down to Antelope Drive. Whatever it's going to take. And you're very crowded right now at the west gate of Hill Air Force Base. Eric?
Foothill Drive starting to see a little bit of congestion and slowdowns from 1700 South up to 1300 South. Not too bad overall if you're heading up towards the University of Utah. I-15 down Utah County, cruising right along at a normal pace, and the major feeders getting over to the freeway so far not causing any problems for Wednesday commuters. Now's the time for a gorgeous new Nilsson home. Beautiful move-in ready townhomes to Rambler Communities. Maintenance free for all life stages. See what's new for you at nilssonhomes.com. Eric Butler on the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with a lovely Valentine's forecast. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 48. Rain showers likely tomorrow morning, then breaking up, high of 46. 47 partly cloudy on Friday, Saturday 49 dry as well. Rain showers on Sunday, 48. Then we pop it up to the 50s next week with a chance for showers on Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I just want to make sure we recognize the fact today is Ash Wednesday. It's the first day of Lent.
In fact, I just recognized when I looked up and saw Mark Wahlberg on TV, and he had the ash cross on his forehead.
Yeah. Having grown up in the Catholic Church and gone to Catholic school my whole life, this was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And it was tough for me to give up certain things for 40 days, but found a way to do it.
It's interesting to have it fall on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, all leading up, of course, to a celebration of Easter coming up. So for those of you that are recognizing that today, we just wanted to make sure we mentioned that we're aware. Coming up in just a minute, we'll see what's happening with money news, hopefully recovering some of the losses from yesterday. The Dow finished down at the closing bell over 500 points. That's next.
Do you hear that? If you're like many people, that's the sound of your money. Just lying there in a checking or savings account doing nothing when it could be out there earning more money for you. But at America First Credit Union, we can give your money a wake-up call.
What? What's that?
Rise and shine, Bucky. We can get your money working in a high-yield certificate account, earning you a much better return than traditional checking and savings. Up and at 'em, buddy. We gotta go.
Huh? Where are we going?
To America First. You'll love it there. They're gonna help you do so much awesome stuff.
All right, I'm coming.
So get your money working with a high-yield certificate from America First. Head to americafirst.com today to check out the latest amazing rates. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, conditions, and change. Federally insured by NCUA.
You know that feeling? The weather starts getting colder, so you go down to check out the furnace and you look around and think, what am I even looking at? Because you don't know how these things work with all the lights and wires and pipey things. And then you think, I bet those technicians at Whipple went to school for this. Shouldn't they be here looking at my furnace? Whipple that away. Knowing what to look for on your furnace tune-up is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. Take advantage of our $27 furnace tune-up at whipplethataway.com.
Okay, where were they last?
Here, right before I spent them on the vacation to Aruba.
Weird. Not weird. Not saving now means no money later. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Watching Utah's Money this morning is brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. JetBlue shares are up more than 18% after activist investor Carl Icahn took an almost 10% stake in the airline. Icahn purchased shares in January and February, saying that he believes JetBlue's stock is undervalued and represents an attractive investment opportunity. He was right.
Yeah.
He sort of led to that, didn't he?
Valentine's Day, of course, is meant to celebrate love, so it may be surprising how much of the shopping is done at the last minute. That doesn't surprise me. Because, we are procrastinators in general, and flowers are just as pretty if you buy them at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
It's a guy thing. My guess is most of the females out there probably did their shopping a week or more ago.
Oh, that's true. Walmart says around 75% of the Valentine's Day sales happen on the 13th and 14th. Open Table says last year, 30% of Valentine's Day dinner reservations were made the day before, and 18% were made on the holiday itself.
There was a lesson in social character. If you just go to Walmart, for instance, and stand on the aisle where they have the Hallmark cards.
And watch the men go through the cards.
Watch the men go through it. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
And some will just go up, look at one, go, yep, and walk
That's
away.
it, yeah.
They don't even read it. Other guys are just struggling, to figure out what
give the right vibe. I'm not sure.
It's funny. And it always happens today. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Cinderella are looking to unionize. Disney park cast members and labor organizers say the performers want better safety conditions and scheduling policies. While most of the workers at the Disneyland Resort already have labor unions, about 1,700 performers and character actors do not.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow futures up 131, that's 0.3%. S&P up 26, that's 0.5%. NASDAQ futures up 116, that's 0.7.
Still have some wet roads in the mountains, but I-15 running at a normal rate right now along the valley floors. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Jeff Kaplan here. Every once in a while, I do my show from home, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell. I'm on KSL and sending video to the internet all at the same time because I have Xfinity Wi-Fi. It's pretty amazing because at the same time, my wife's streaming a movie, grandkids come over, one's watching YouTube, two are playing Minecraft, and others watching a flick, all while Grandma says, shh, Papa's on the air. We run all these devices, and I do a show thanks to my reliable, fast connection. Xfinity Wi-Fi is a game changer. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi on the Xfinity 10G network for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now through March 21st, new customers can get started with 1.2 gigabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to Internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
If there's a problem during your siding, gutter, or window installation project, most contractors will try to hide it, ignore it, or blame someone else. It's called passing the buck or turning a blind eye, or my favorite, finger pointing. My question is, where is the accountability? Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and look, sometimes problems just happen. No matter who you hire, maybe the wrong color siding gets delivered, despite the order being placed perfectly. Or maybe a downspout gets cut short. Honestly, it could be anything. At RGS Exteriors, mistakes are rare. But if something goes wrong, I can absolutely, positively, 100% guarantee you we'll never hide it and we'll never pass the buck. We'll make certain everything turns out right for you. That's people over profits. That's the RGS Exteriors way. For a free estimate on siding, gutters, or windows, call 801-280-3110, rgsexteriors.com, rgsexteriors.com.
Are you ready for Valentine's Day? Visit Shane Company for a last-minute gift that won't feel last minute. We have the largest selection of fine jewelry in every price range. From on-trend necklaces with colorful gemstones to classic diamond earrings, every piece is lovingly crafted and backed by our free lifetime warranty. We'll help you find the perfect gift, and it will look like you've been planning for months. P.S. They'll never know you waited until the last minute. Give a Valentine's Day gift that was made to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
6:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
A little bit of slowing I-15 creeping in now between 33rd South and I-80. We do have some slowing on Mountain View at 3500 South. That's not a surprise if you've ever driven through there. But we do have a little bit more southbound backups creeping in Daybreak and in Harriman now at a couple of the intersections. Jason?
Eastbound SR 193 is closed at 10th West. So if you're trying to head eastbound over towards I-15 or maybe even to head up to the west gate of Hill Air Force Base, you're not going to be able to do that. So again, 3rd North, Antelope Drive, any one of those, use that as an alternate route. It's a pretty bad accident we've got at that intersection there, and you're not really going to be able to get through. Eric?
Along the Wasatch Back, we do have some slowing because of the road conditions from the River Road intersection up to Jordanelle Reservoir, and that's been pretty consistent over the last little while, 30, 45 minutes. And getting into Park City, starting to get busier on Kearns Boulevard, but I-15 continues to look good in Utah County from Provo to Lehigh. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit New Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler on the KSL Traffic Center.
We were just talking about this. One of our texters says the first 5 people in line at the checkout at Smith's this morning were guys with flowers and cards.
Way to go, guys!
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Happy Valentine's Day at 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. Good morning, I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story on the 7 o'clock report.
Today, the Utah State Board of Education has scheduled a meeting to mull over potential punishment for board member Natalie Klein.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, what's going to happen in this meeting and what's going to be discussed is being kept on the down low, but we do know this meeting is centered around Klein, who's been facing constant fallout from a social media post she made last week about a teenage girl. In that post, Klein shared a high school basketball promo with 2 girls pictured who played for the Granite School District, writing the caption above it, "Girls Basketball, ... and I quote, "Among the many people who believe she should resign is Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson."
It was awful. To target, harass, and abuse a child in the state of Utah, for adults to do that, is pathetic.
The Salt Lake City, Murray, and Mill Creek city councils have also called for her resignation, as has the Granite School District. She did issue an apology the day after, or shortly after making that post on social media. Today's meeting is at 3 o'clock. Be sure to stay with us. We'll keep you updated. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Speaking of Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, she's also responding to a series of problems during the Cache County Municipal General Election last November. We get that story from KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson.
A letter to County Clerk David Benson released Tuesday includes scathing review of the widespread violations of state election law found during a recently closed investigation into election issues there. Lieutenant Governor admonishes the clerk, saying, quote, "The 2023 Cache County Municipal Primary General Elections fell unacceptably short," end quote, under Benson's watch. Henderson has ordered Benson to review the report and to provide a written response to each recommendation from her office that was sent in a summary of findings and recommendations this week. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
Eye on the Hill 2024. Utah currently does not require youth service organizations to check if their workers are on a sex offender registry. A new bill would change that. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live with more. Peter?
Amanda, scout troops, sports leagues, and church organizations with over 25 youth members are going to be required to vet volunteers and workers on both the national and state sex offender registries if this bill passes. For the workers that do pass this test, they would get training about identifying signs of child abuse and neglect and being able to report on those. If a youth group gets sued over allegations of a case of sexual abuse between a worker and a child, this bill would put it on the hook legally if they didn't check the offender registries or if they hired the person on despite their appearance on those lists anyway. I'm at the Capitol right now, and we're waiting to see if this will pass the House and go to the governor's desk, but we will keep you updated throughout the morning about any progress on this bill. Reporting live from Capitol Hill, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The future of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas' job is now up to the Senate after an impeachment vote in the House.
For the first time since 1876, a sitting U.S. cabinet secretary has been impeached.
We did exactly what we should be doing. Now it's up to the Senate to do their job.
But the impeachment articles are expected to be rejected by the Senate, which is controlled by Democrats. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calling the move a new low for House Republicans.
ABC's M. Wynn says it is unlikely the Senate will advance the impeachment. Mayorkas has been accused by the House GOP of failing to enforce immigration laws, causing a crisis at the southern border.
The race to replace former Congressman George Santos has resulted in House Republicans losing a seat in their razor-thin majority. Democrat Tom Suozzi is the projected winner.
There are divisions in our country where people can't even talk to each other. All they can do is yell and scream at each other. And that's not the answer to the problems we face in our country.
Voters endured a snowstorm to cast ballots.
A protest calling for a ceasefire in Gaza shut down a major intersection in downtown Salt Lake City last night. KSL TV's Debbie Worthen was there.
Aziz Abu Zayed is Palestinian. This protest here on the streets of downtown Salt Lake City hits home for him. He's spent most of his life in Rafah.
I know of so many people, including my cousin, who passed away because of the extreme cold. She was 9 months pregnant.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has recently threatened to send ground troops into Rafah.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
A little bit of I-15 slowing in South Salt Lake near 33rd South. It's been pretty quiet on I-15 between Ogden and downtown, so travel times there still in the 30-minute range. Wet conditions get worse on I-80 as you go towards Park City. Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons are still open, and at the least at the moment, still without restriction. Well, we still have that crash at 1000 West and SR 193 in Clearfield as well. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A follow-up now to a story we told you about earlier this week. A skier who went off a 100-foot cliff Monday near Snow Basin has died. Officials tell us the skier was in the Mount Ogden Bowl area when the accident happened.
A Texas hospital is scrambling to set up an alternative emergency entrance after a car crashed into their ER lobby. Stephen Hughes was there when the car came through the wall.
I just went down there to see what was going on. I didn't know if maybe there was an explosion or what. And people just started pulling people away from the area. And I could see it was a car that had crashed into the ER.
The driver was killed and 5 other people were hurt.
An assisted living center in St. George could lose its license after a resident with dementia got into a walk-in kitchen freezer and later died. The Meadows of Escalante assisted care facility released a statement saying in part that their hearts go out to the family and their team is 100% committed to the service and care of their community members.
A Wyoming police officer has died after he was shot while serving a trespass warning in downtown Sheridan. Investigators say Sergeant Nevada Krinke was a 6-year veteran of the city's police department.
The Jordan School District is the first in the nation to officially adopt school AI into all of its classrooms.
Jordan is now one of 1,500 school districts in America using artificial intelligence as a tool in their classrooms.
Specifically, teachers are using it to save a bunch of time when it comes to doing kind of the tedious administrative tasks like building rubrics, worksheets, parent communication, drafting lesson plans.
Kevin Morrill, co-founder of School AI, says it also gives students real-time feedback and helps them develop critical thinking skills. Morrill says a few other school districts in Utah have also signed on to start using School AI, and another 10 to 15 other local school districts are in pilot programs. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
Passengers on a Norwegian cruise that was supposed to go to Antarctica are angry after their itinerary was changed during the cruise.
Cruise passengers are venting their frustration, saying plans for their dream vacation were changed at the last minute.
We're angry, we want to be heard, we want answers.
Cruise lines can change your itinerary for a variety of reasons.
We always recommend that passengers read their cruise contract carefully, working with people like travel advisors who can serve as your advocate in case something goes wrong.
One passenger on that cruise to Antarctica says she paid $13,000 despite the itinerary change.
ABC's Rhiannon Alley says the reason that it was rerouted was to avoid a whale pod.
Oh, wow.
So I understand that.
Yeah. And I've had this happen to me. We were on a cruise out of Galveston, Texas. This was years ago.
Oh, was that the hurricane?
Headed to Mexico. Hurricane didn't do what they thought it was going to do, so we woke up and the sun was coming up on the wrong side of the ship.
Yeah.
We ended up in New Orleans instead of Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And half the people on the boat were from?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The Notre Dame Cathedral has reached an important step because before it can reopen its doors following that 2019 fire. The new spire has been uncovered.
A massive array of scaffolding, more than 600 tons of metal, 330 feet high, made up of 70,000 metal parts, protected the cathedral as skilled artisans worked tirelessly to restore it to its former glory. The new spire, adorned with a new golden rooster, now reimagined as a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Very nice. ABC's Andrew Dimmert reports the reconstruction is expected to be done by the end of the year. 7:09, right on the button. Let's get a look at traffic and weather together here. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. How we doing out there, Andy?
A little bit of slowing I-15 near 33rd South. It's been pretty quiet in the Salt Lake Valley as far as extra delay this morning despite some wet conditions. In fact, Bankett are not seeing any real extra slowdowns right now all the way from South Jordan to the airport, but Mountain View beginning to back up near 3500 South. And no crashes in Tooele County, but it's a little bit busy at the intersections in Stansbury Park and Lake Point. Jason?
Good work by the incident management teams up in the Syracuse-Clearfield area. SR 193 has reopened now at 10th West, so you don't have to worry about that accident anymore. In fact, all the delays that were there are cleared out, and so it's good speeds right through that intersection there. You're very crowded right now at the west gate of Hill Air Force Base with delays backing up out onto the I-15 exit there, and it's starting to get really crowded at the south gate as well. Eric?
Getting over to I-15, 2100 North starting to get busy for eastbounders heading from Redwood Road over to the freeway entrance. Pioneer Crossing, 21 and Lehigh's Main Street, both of those are actually in decent shape this morning going in the same direction. I-15, Utah County, northbound, southbound, looking good. We still have slowing on US 40 along the Wasatch back, primarily right at Jordanelle Reservoir. That's going to be the slowest spot northbound and southbound. Common Spirit, hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL hourly forecast. Temperatures in the mid-30s around 7 a.m., cloudy skies, and a couple of spotty showers are possible. Into the lunch hour, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies. Temps in the mid-40s. We'll top out at 48 this afternoon, but dry skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 37 degrees downtown.
Boy, the markets had a rough day yesterday after we got those inflation numbers. We're going to talk more with our expert Caleb Silver coming up in just a moment on KSL.
We also have an update this morning on that mountain lion that wandered around the Utah State University campus yesterday. The big cat, I guess, was found in a family's backyard and was tranquilized and then moved to a safer, secluded area.
The BYU basketball team is now above 500 in the Big 12 after defeating the UCF Knights for the second time this season.
Waterman lobs it up for a tiki! What a time for a tiki alley-oop!
The Cougars led by as much as 19 points at one time, but the Knights had a furious comeback. What did they get, 4 threes in the last minute?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, my gosh, to get the game to 2 points by the end.
And they just kept fouling and fouling and fouling. Tonight, the Utah State Aggies will be at Wyoming as they try to get back into the top 25. The Jazz also in action tonight, hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. You'll be able to hear that game live here on KSL News Radio with the tip at 7 o'clock.
A couple of former BYU running teammates held a big party in Alpine last night, now that they've qualified for the Paris Olympics. Connor Mance and Clayton Young will be running the marathon in the Olympics, and Mance tells KSL TV he needs to thank all the people who helped him along the way.
Going out to Paris, France to represent all of the people who've helped me out, especially my wife, it's been pretty special.
A group of former Olympic athletes attended last night's celebration.
Pitchers and catchers report today for Major League Baseball, and there's a good number of players with Utah ties in the big leagues. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live. Michael?
Tim, fan interest has been growing for an MLB team to come to Utah, but even now we're seeing former college ball players hitting the big league. Here's a few you can look out for. You got longtime players like the Phillies' Michael Rucker, or free agents like C.J. Cron or Andrew Jackson. You also have guys like Tanner Banks and Joe Barlow. They both played with the Salt Lake Bruins, but are now with the Chicago White Sox these days. You can also catch Utah Tech alumni Logan Porter, who's catching for the Kansas City Royals. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Do you have a favorite Valentine's Day song?
They used to be called mixtapes. Now we simply refer to them as playlists. According to Spotify playlists, here are the most romantic songs. Topping the list, Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Next, All of Me by John Legend. And then James Arthur's Say You Won't Let Go. Something surprising is that spots 6 through 9 are all occupied by songs from the 80s. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't really. I mean, you always go back to the ones that, you had a high school sweetheart, your first crush. You remember those songs.
My husband and I love Still the One by Orleans. Do you remember that? That's an old song.
Yeah, that's a
You're
good one,
still
too.
the one.
That's a good one. All right, trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report. Speaking of music, it's the anniversary of an iconic song.
What you want, baby, I got.
Not really a Valentine's tune.
What you need, you know I got it.
Can you spell it?
All I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home.
Guess we're not going to get that part of it. Aretha Franklin recorded Respect on this day back in 1967. It went on to become the Billboard Song of the Year.
The inventor of the Pop-Tart has died. William Post created the breakfast back in the 50s, and it hit shelves in 1964. He was 96 years old.
And I didn't get a chance to sue him for all of the burns on the roof of my mouth from those silly things. KSL News Time, 7:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah State Board of Education has scheduled a meeting this afternoon where they're expected to talk about possible punishment for board member Natalie Klein following a social media post she made about a teenage girl. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the Jordan School District is the first in the nation to officially adopt School AI into all of its classrooms.
Third, traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic is got busy for a bit in South Salt Lake. It's cleared now near 33rd South, but it is starting to slow a tiny bit on South 15 at the Riverdale I-84 split. And you still got wet and snowy conditions up over the summit at Parley's Canyon and up at the heights in Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's, high of 48. I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for a look at our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A shocking scene inside a hospital in Austin, Texas, when a driver plowed straight into the ER, leaving several people hurt. ABC's Jim Ryan has the latest.
Stephen Hughes was visiting his wife at St. David's North Austin Medical Center when he heard the crash of a car down in the lobby.
Then I heard screaming and lots of other noise, and I looked down the hallway and could see lots of smoke.
The smoke of the tires that kept spinning after the crash. The unidentified driver was pulled from the car but died. 5 other people, including 2 children, were hurt. The hole in the wall has been boarded up, but the hospital is open today. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
The congressional seat held briefly by now indicted Republican George Santos has switched from red back to blue.
Tom Suozzi's victory further narrows the GOP majority in the House. It means Speaker Mike Johnson can now afford just 2 Republican defections in party line votes. Democrats say the victory in the Long Island special election proves the strength of their agenda despite concerns about the president's age.
ABC national correspondent Stephen Portnoy in Washington, who also has more on the impeachment vote held last night against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over what the Republicans see as a failure to enforce border security laws.
There's no telling yet when a Senate trial might start, and frankly, it's possible one never will. Democrats could seek to dismiss the charges out of hand, or they could send the articles of impeachment to a committee to allow work to continue on the Senate floor.
The White House criticizing House Speaker Mike Johnson for not even bringing up the aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Republicans say they wanted the $95 billion bill tied to border security, but refused to vote on that bill as well. A day after being released from the hospital for further complications of prostate cancer diagnosis and surgery, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin this morning attending a virtual meeting of nations supporting Ukraine, Austin delivering opening remarks. You're listening to ABC News.
Let's go in depth now. The market had a really rough day yesterday after the inflation report wasn't so promising.
Editor-in-chief of Investopedia, Caleb Silver, joins us. I was just looking, Caleb, so yesterday, we're at 3.1% inflation, and I was looking at the average inflation rate over the last 50 years is 3.8%. So aren't we there now, or no? We still have a long way to go.
Yeah, we're there-ish, but the Federal Reserve wants that inflation rate closer to 2%. That's the target rate. Inflation, if you look at an even longer period of time, it's like a 2.7% average. But we're still stuck here at these higher rates than expected, 3.1%. But given where we were last year, this is a lot better. The problem is prices are just high. We got what we call disinflation, a slowing in the rate of growth, but not deflation, a dropping in prices. Except for used cars and trucks and utilities, everything else is a lot more expensive than it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and we kind of get caught in that, looking at the 3.1 and thinking it's not so bad. But when you look at what's happened since the pandemic, my goodness, what are we still up almost 20% on some things?
20% on a lot of things, especially the things we need to pay for on a daily basis or a monthly basis, like rent, like shelter, right, like transportation. These things cost money. So the notion that prices would be coming down anytime soon, people need to get rid of that notion. And the fact that prices are still sticky highs means that the Federal Reserve, which had planned on cutting interest rates at least 3 times this year, is probably going to delay those cuts until June. The thinking was it might be March. Then when we heard the Fed speak a couple of weeks ago, then we were thinking May. Now we're thinking June. So higher rates for longer means borrowing costs are going to remain high. And you also have this pressure that we saw yesterday on the stock market.
So what will force those prices to come down, if anything? Or is this the new normal?
Well, the cure for higher prices is higher prices, and that people get tapped out and don't want to pay for things anymore. But we, as consumers, have proven that we are not there yet. Even though we're at record high credit card debt, we continue to spend, and companies, to retain workers, have had to give them raises. We've seen 4% wage increases in the past year. How do they pay for those wage increases? They raise their prices. So this is the cycle we're in. If we're going to have this low unemployment rate, high demand for workers, higher wages, then you're going to see higher prices remain right where they are.
So might that be the wall when people just are locked out of using plastic? They can't use their credit cards?
Yeah, but when people get tapped out, they can't use their credit cards. That's usually when that happens, or they come up with a financial emergency that they just can't fund anymore. And we're getting to the point where people are starting to tap into savings, starting to tap 401ks a little bit. You saw the rise in delinquencies, credit card delinquencies. Now, we're not at 2008 levels, but we are kind of near those pre-pandemic levels before all this started. So something to keep an eye on. That said, consumers are pretty resilient in this country.
Interesting. Caleb, as always, thank you. Editor-in-chief of Investopedia, Caleb Silver, with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45. Let's get a look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, still have a good drive for the most part for traffic through the Salt Lake Valley. It's on the west side that most of the heavy traffic is starting to solidify into some reduced speeds, including Bangerter and the South Jordan 98 South intersection, and then all the intersections from 47th up to 21st South. Looks like some wait time. Mountain View, same story between 62 and 3500 South. Tooele County, though, Lake Point, we've got some stop and go on SR 36 starting at Sunset Road. Jason?
And I-15 looking fantastic through Weber and Davis counties this morning. Regular speeds right now from Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. And in fact, regular speeds on all the other highways up north and into the canyons. You're not going to find any trouble. It's the west gate of Hill Air Force Base. That's what's giving us fits right now, as it's very thick and crowded there. Eric?
And we got some wet roads out on the Wasatch Back this morning, and some snow falling from time to time. You still got slowing from the south end of Jordanelle Reservoir right before you go up the hill to the reservoir itself. From that point all the way up to the Park City turnoff, you're going to be in the slow down mode this morning because of the wet conditions. I-15 Utah County, that's actually looking good northbound from Provo to Point of the Mountain. It's a 20-minute drive if you're getting on at University Avenue. Use Superior Water and Air for all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Call 974-9090 or visit SuperiorWaterandAir.com. Superior Water and Air, we got this. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast going for a high of 48 today, partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's. Tomorrow 46, rain in the morning, then showers. 47, partly cloudy on your Friday, keeping it dry with some clouds and sun on Saturday, high of 49. 48, rain showers on Sunday, partly cloudy, dry, 53 on Monday. How about next Tuesday, though? Another storm trying to get in here. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees in Salt Lake City. And your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Tim and I have a pair of Lower Bowl Jazz Lakers tickets to give away. Well, actually, you and I don't have anything. It's KSL. But
yeah, because if we had them, we would not be giving them to you.
That's my point, exactly. But we do want to give them away. And what we're going to do is in about an hour and 20 minutes or so, at 8:45 this morning, we'll give you another key word. And you text that word to 57500, and then you get in on a chance to win those Lower Bowl tickets.
Good luck. KSL News Time now is 7:23.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Wadsworth Development Group is a family-owned boutique firm and experienced national brand that is developing the future of commercial real estate throughout the Intermountain West, from Washington to Arizona. Chief Investment Officer Cade Wadsworth joins us with more.
While Wadsworth Development Group started in 1996, the Wadsworth family has been doing business in Utah for 50 years. Our portfolio includes everything from office, retail, and industrial projects to multifamily and mixed-use developments, and so much more. Ultimately, our goal is to build world-class teams and partnerships that create and preserve our brand. And this includes our affiliates, Alpha Development Group, a multifamily development platform, Salt Lake City Global Logistics Center, a 3,000-acre logistics park in the northwest quadrant of Salt Lake County with capacity to build over 50 million square feet, and Roots Management Group, currently the 5th largest manufactured housing platform in the nation. Wadsworth is also partnered with Comena Group and Lincoln Property Company to be the master developer for Phase 1 of the Point of the Mountain Prison Redevelopment Project in Draper, which will include over 5 million square feet of mixed-use product, including office, retail, and residential.
With a reputation for minimizing risks and maintaining long-term relationships across the industry, Wadsworth Development is cementing its future as a leading strategic partner in commercial real estate. For more information, visit the Wadsworth Development website. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Last year, home prices dipped, but that was last year. Now, home sales are expected to increase. We'll give you a first-time homebuyer's guide on what you can do to prepare. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. ESPN and the College Football Playoff have reportedly agreed to a 6-year deal worth $1.3 billion annually. Wow.
Every year.
It will allow the network to keep exclusive rights to the 12-team playoff through the 2031 season. Officials say negotiations are ongoing.
All right, if you still need to pick up some Valentine's candy, it's going to cost you. It's more expensive this year thanks to inflation and special Valentine's packing. Companies hike up prices to justify the extra hearts on the bag. Oh, come on.
Walmart could be closing a $2 billion deal with smart television manufacturer Vizio. Walmart is one of their biggest retail sellers. 70% of its TVs are sold at Walmart.
All right, let's take a look at the futures markets here, getting back some of the losses from yesterday, at least for now. The Dow is up 103. The S&P just ahead of the bell is up 21.5. That's almost 0.5%. And the Nasdaq is up 0.5%, closing in on a gain of 100.
Looks like slowing is continuing on US 40 near Jordanelle because of some wet, slippery conditions. We're getting some reports this morning, too, of heavy rain. Frozen mix falling at Lagoon and moderate rain, I-15 in Kaysville. We'll check it all coming up in a moment.
We were just talking to Caleb Silver about the craziness, with the markets and with interest rates and the unknowns of the future. If you're in the market right now to buy or sell a home, how do you navigate all of that?
Yeah.
You enlist the help of professionals like the Stern team.
I've been working with Cammie at the Stern team, and can I just take a minute to brag about this? The Stern team she coordinates everything. So, the nightmare of pulling all the documents together. And then you have to work, with you have to insurance, of course, and then the taxes, and we'll fold it in, and inspections and appraisals and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she's just made this the most seamless. We've done it entirely online, and she's coordinated everything.
They have taught us that there are over 100 details involved in selling a home, and I only thought of 3 or 4 that were putting me in panic mode the last time I went through this. But they really do have a full team that can take care of all of those things for you and make it even possible when you thought it might be impossible to buy or sell.
They're just so creative in the way they approach things. You can go right now to the Stern Team's website, just sternteam.com, and you'll see right there it says buy or sell. If you click on sell, type in your address, it'll tell you what your home is worth.
Yeah, it's a perfect place to start. So go to sternteam.com. It's spelled STERN, or just Google the Stern Team.
Some updates affect your commute.
Emergency traffic due to a multiple vehicle crash.
Other stories affect lives and safety.
This helicopter is on its side. Propeller gone.
When you're listening to KSL News Radio, you're getting the first information on the biggest stories. When it's breaking news, we have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Time again for a look at that drive with traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy's back in the traffic center.
A little bit of slowing I-15 as you cross the 215 interchange in Midvale. There is some delay on Bangerter at 47th and Mountain View at 35th South. But Tooele County now has more southbound backups going through Stansbury Park than it does on the northbound side, Jason.
And we remain with good travels time from Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. The roads have dried out somewhat, and so it's only about 30 minutes right now. If you're traveling that distance, it's just the west gate of Hill Air Force Base where we're seeing really any delays at all. Although those are starting to get a little bit better. You're only up to the bottom of the off-ramp now of I-15 there. Eric?
Slick conditions, potentially northbound and southbound on the Wasatch Bank. US 40 is slowing as a result, for people are being cautious from Jordanelle Reservoir up to the Park City turnoff. And if you're turning to go into Park City on Kearns Boulevard, you got your usual slowdowns there. Along the 215 East Belt, running alongside Mount Olympus, northbounders from Cottonwood Heights, Sandy, not having any problems going up to Foothill Drive. And I-15 Utah County still looking good. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today, we may see some more rain. In fact, they are up north right now. And then we'll have more rain tomorrow. There's a 70% chance of rain tomorrow. Today's high, 48, 46 tomorrow. Then we start warming back up until the Monday and Tuesday of next week, 53 and 54 degrees with a couple of more days of rain. Sunday, we have some more rain, and Tuesday of next week, it looks like. Right now, we have 37 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 7:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
It is Eye on the Hill 2024. A Utah Senate committee advanced legislation that asks Utah voters to change the state constitution when it comes to initiatives dealing with taxes.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live to explain. Adam?
Amanda, this bill and joint resolution would require any initiative that introduces a new tax or increases an existing one to get 60% of voters to sign off on it rather than a simple 50% majority. Representative Jason Kyle is the bill sponsor.
It's dealing with taxes. This will not address any other type of voter initiative.
Since this would amend the state constitution, voters will need to sign off on it in the next election for it to actually take effect. It's already passed the full House and just got thumbs up again from that Senate committee. It now only needs the approval of the full Senate, Governor Spencer Cox, and of course, voter approval this November. Live in Salt Lake City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. House Republicans voted last night to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas along party lines. ABC's Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill.
Mayorkas is only the second cabinet secretary in American history to be impeached. The last time this has happened was the 1870s in the administration of Ulysses S. Grant. Democrats say that this is a political ploy. Republicans say they are accusing Mayorkas and now have impeached him for the ongoing situation at the U.S. southern border.
The Biden administration calls the impeachment, quote, politically charged. The U.S. Senate is not expected to advance the impeachment.
Utah's members of the House were united in their votes in the Mayorkas impeachment. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston continues our live team coverage. Peter?
Amanda, the short story is that all of Utah's representatives voted to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary. Congressman Blake Moore made this second tried impeachment possible because last time he made a strategic no vote that allowed him to bring it back up. He tells David Dujanovic why he is for sacking Secretary Mayorkas.
To this point now, this is an act of sheer desperation from Republicans to say something has to be forced, something has to change.
Congressman Burgess Owens posted on X that the secretary failed to follow the law, lied to Congress, and willfully facilitated the worst border crisis in American history. Representatives John Curtis and Celeste Malloy have not made a statement, but Representative Curtis will be joining us later this morning at 8:45. Reporting live from Salt Lake City in the Utah State Capitol, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
The race to replace ex-Congressman George Santos has resulted in House Republicans losing a seat. Democrat Tom Suozzi is the projected winner.
A group called Braver Angels is hoping to make politics a little less divisive here in Utah and around the country. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit joins us live. Michael?
Amanda, Braver Angels hosts workshops where Republicans and Democrats can meet in groups and then with each other to dispel rumors, address stereotypes, and then find common ground. Now, in our neck of the woods, those meetings have been very helpful, especially when people started attending their meetings after the DEI rulings.
They were admitting some things that, their own shortcomings, things they could do better. They were expressing a desire to work together more. I know some of them have been having bipartisan lunches weekly since then.
That's volunteer Casey Jorgensen. She says we can learn a lot from each other when we acknowledge our own party's imperfections. For many she's worked with, finding the truth is a strong common goal. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Gas prices are up. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson explains why.
The cost of a gallon of gas has gone up 10 to 15 cents since this time last month in Utah. And AAA spokesperson Julian Paredes predicts prices will continue to creep up for the next couple months.
A big part of it is just seasonality. Gas prices normally just go up around this time anyway. As we get closer to spring, the temperatures warm up. When more people start traveling, more people go on vacation. So demand for gas goes up.
Paredes also says the supply has become more expensive because of tensions surrounding Israel and Ukraine. Fortunately, gas is still nearly $1 cheaper than last year in the Salt Lake City area. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
And right now, travelers on I-15 seeing slowdowns increasing in the Murray stretch from Midvale to Murray on northbound lanes. Southbound's been busy as you go through the lane restriction going near I-84 and the Riverdale Road exit. And Foothill beginning to see delays increase between the 201 exit, the I-80 exit and 1700 South. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Even parents are saying cell phones have to be taken out of the classrooms. We get that story from KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Governor Spencer Cox has been trying to get schools to implement stricter cell phone policies for a while now, and it seems most Utahns agree. 69% of adults say they support rules about keeping cell phones in lockers or backpacks at school. The support was the strongest among people 57 and older. 80% say they support the policy. That's according to a Deseret News poll. Those most recently out of school have different opinions. Respondents 18 to 24 years old support it significantly less. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
A Utah Highway Patrol trooper who fell off a bridge yesterday remains in the hospital but has stabilized. KSL TV's Andrew Adams is following the story.
Investigators said Highway Patrol troopers were trying to stop a SUV with spikes.
One of our troopers was injured as he fell off of a structure onto a surface street down below.
According to police, officers in Salt Lake City attempted to stop a suspect in a drug investigation.
The suspect police was trying to stop has a long criminal history, mostly involving drug-related charges.
Some Utah farmers and ranchers are trying new ways to improve the health of their fields and save water.
It seems counterintuitive, but not tilling fields or using fertilizer are improving the soils. Also, using cover crops that are not harvested save on water and the cost of chemicals, machinery, and irrigation. Ton Bettis, horticulturalist and co-host of the KSL Greenhouse, says it also deters weeds.
If the ground is shaded, then weed seeds are a lot less likely to
germinate because of the competition from the cover crop.
Betta says the method also works for home gardens, but home gardeners should not work the dirt until it defrosts. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
Valentine's Day spending is expected to go up this year.
According to the National Retail Federation, the average American will spend about $185 celebrating Valentine's this year, with the nation as a whole spending an estimated $25.8 billion. The NRF study asked more than 8,300 customers about their Valentine's shopping plans. Nearly 60% say they're planning on delivering some candy. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Dry roads for the most part, although we did hear that we had rain and even rain mixed with snow in the Farmington area around Lagoon not that long ago. We'll check the drive with traffic and weather together next.
Join your friends who rely on KSL each morning for the fastest routes to work and school.
I like traffic on the 9s.
So I need to get the kids up earlier so that my son isn't driving quickly in a snowstorm.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
On KSL News Radio.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get
the power of a cut above.
Decades of expertise to transform your home. From so-so to virtuoso.
The power of neighborhood painters.
We live where you live and probably like the same pizza place you do. Put
the power of pro
to work for you today. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Copiers, printers, service, and supplies are just the beginning. Les Olson IT is the premier source for your business's structured cabling, IT, software, telephones, and security systems. We partner with you to find the ideal solution to all of your office technology needs. Tell us your goals and we'll get you there. Find out more at lesolson.com.
Les Olson IT.
Are you tired of yo-yo dieting? Are you thinking about trying the latest fad prescription drug with their long list of possible serious side effects? Most people don't realize that while you may lose weight, it's just temporarily suppressing your hunger, so as soon as you get off the drug, your frustration and your weight could come right back to haunt you. At slcfatloss.com, we know the secret to quick weight loss and, most importantly, safe and lasting weight loss. Our program has helped over 40,000 patients across the country break the weight loss code. Gone are the starvation diet plans. Our program is healthy weight loss, using real whole foods and proprietary strategies to help guide our patients through their successful weight loss with a roadmap to keep the weight off long term.
This is Dave Noriega, and if you're done with those achy joints from carrying around that stubborn extra weight, do what I did and find out the secret to losing up to a pound per day with 20 to 30 pounds gone in a month or two. Schedule your free consultation in person or virtually at slcfatloss.com. slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
One of the stories we're following this morning is this new Deseret News poll that says 69% of adults say they support keeping cell phones in lockers or backpacks and out of the classroom. I am not surprised at that, but we'll have more details of it for you throughout the morning with Alexandria Bonilla's help.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back over to you, Andy.
Amanda, slowdowns increasing now on the stretch of I-15 from 7200 south to 5300 south. We've also got delays increasing on Bangerter, especially at 98 and 4700 south intersections. Mountain View, you'll see slowing at all the intersections from about 6200 up to 3500 south, but the worst of it's at the bottom of the hill at 3500 south. And Tooele County, you'll see more southbound slowing at the lights in Stansbury Park than the northbound side, but then northbound backs up in Lake Point. Jason?
And fresh water on the road, so you're a little bit slow southbound I-15 once you get to about Parish Lane. Farmington down to about Bountiful is where we've seen this rain that has come through. But otherwise, the rest of I-15 is looking pretty good, especially up north in the Ogden area. It's really dry, although we are starting to see the typical delays of this time of the morning between 31st Street and Riverdale Road. Eric.
Along the Wasatch Back, expect some slowdowns on US 40 this morning because of the wet road conditions. You're probably not going to want to go very fast as you head from River Road up towards the reservoir and then to the Park City turnoff, and you're heading into Park City. Usual slowdowns on Kearns Boulevard and southbound on 224 from I-80. If you're exiting at Kimball Junction, expect your usual slowdowns there as well. Listen, Utah County on 2100 North eastbound from Redwood Road over to the freeway. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. President's Day sale happening now at all Two Brothers Mattress locations and online at twobrothersmattress.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're looking at 48 this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, but clouds will thicken up into the evening. Overnight, we'll drop off to 38. Tomorrow, we're talking about rain showers, maybe even a little breezy by afternoon. High of only 46. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Cloudy skies out there this morning, 37 degrees.
There's a question as to whether or not that foreign aid bill that was passed by the Senate will even get a vote in the House. Stephen Portnoy explained it to us, and we'll share with you what he had to say just ahead.
Let's check in with Jeff Kaplan here. It's time for his Minute of News, brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
Valentine's Day is a horrible holiday. If you're married, dating, or single, doesn't matter. February 14th is drowning in disappointment. Look at the headlines this week. The El Paso Zoo will name a cockroach after your ex and feed it to a meerkat on Facebook Live. In Oregon, you can name a salmon after the love you lost, and a bear will tear its head off. Virginia, it's a worm. Australia, they'll name a snake. Please note, these are Valentine's Day headlines, a day that apparently leaves a lot of people feeling resentful, morose, even regretful.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Hang on, you smug married people. Surveys show most men are disappointed with the amount of money their spouse spends on them for Valentine's Day. The average woman is even more disappointed. Maybe you'll spend tonight arms entwined as you binge TV on the couch. 51% of spouses admit to cheating. They go one episode ahead on Netflix without their partner. It's one of those run-of-the-mill trust issues. Married life is not perfect.
Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare.
If you're single, it's hard to remember married people don't fly to Paris for every Valentine's Day. They just live life one day at a time, trying to enjoy their imperfect relationships, better some days, not so much others. So, married or single, don't succumb to the disappointment this Valentine's Day. Serenade her with song and hit the notes as best you can. And if you're single, it's perfectly okay to sing into the mirror.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Just trying to imagine what my wife would say or do if I tried to sing to her on Valentine's Day. Thanks for ruining the mood with that. IRS harassing you? The law offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. It's not just you.
My husband passed away. He had been ill for quite some time. And he did the taxes, but he forgot to send them in. He never sent the forms in. And this was the beginning of my nightmare.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
I got all these letters from the IRS telling me I owed them $63,000. I had a good friend that she said, "You need an attorney." She said, "Call Jordan Wilcox."
You need someone to fight for you.
He said, "Cynthia, we're going to give him $3,000. How does that sound?" I started crying because I was overwhelmed.
Visit taxhelput.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit taxhelput.com.
You have it made in the shade with Jordan Wilcox.
That's taxhelput.com.
KSL News Time, 7:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a bill that would increase the number of voters needed to approve tax increase initiatives is gaining steam on Utah's Capitol Hill. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the average American is expected to spend about $185 celebrating Valentine's this year.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 slowdowns increasing Midvale to South Salt Lake, plus southbound delays coming through the rainy conditions and icy conditions coming down through Centerville right now. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds and sun today for your Valentine's, high of 48, then rain showers tomorrow. I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. 3 police officers in Washington, D.C. have been shot. Their injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. Not many other details are available right now. For the first time in 150 years, the House has impeached a cabinet member, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, facing criticism for the Biden administration's handling of the southern border. The vote would have been even closer if the results of a special election held yesterday in New York were in place. Democrat Tom Suozzi winning back his old seat, which had been held by now indicted former Republican Congressman George Santos. This is ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth here. House Republicans voted last night to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary, and there's questions if the foreign aid bill that passed in the Senate will ever get a vote in the House.
Joining us live is the director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics, Jason Perry. Jason, will you comment first on the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas?
Well, this is really unprecedented. It's been 150 years since a secretary has been impeached. So there's not a lot of history about what's happened right here. What's interesting about this, not only that it's happened, the allegations, which are connected to some issues that a lot of people are talking about in the state of Utah, from our governor to our legislature around the country. But Utah also had a little bit of a role in the process that happened here through Congressman Moore and some procedural efforts that allowed for a second vote to happen. This is really unprecedented, and it's going to be interesting to watch what happens when it gets tied to the aid packages itself and to the border, which is going to continue to be a campaign issue all the way to November.
Should we be worried, Jason, about impeachment becoming a political tool back in Washington? This was unleashed all the way back with Bill Clinton, and then we know what happened during the Trump administration. It just becomes, or seems like anyway, more of a weapon back there.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. For some of the people in the Senate, this will be the third time that they will sit in on a potential impeachment proceeding. It really is has been weaponized, as you kind of said right there, and it's become something that you talk about. This is the last resort. This is high crimes and misdemeanors. It's a very high standard, hard to get there for a reason, but it's become sort of a political tool without question that we've seen here. In this case in particular, because of course, after these articles are presented to the Senate is controlled by the Democrats, so it's highly unlikely to be successful, which just adds to that conversation about whether or not it's a political effort or something else.
What do you think about the foreign aid bill getting a vote in the House?
Well, this is going to be very, very controversial. So we'll see how these votes start lining up. But there's been a significant effort to separate this foreign aid bill from the border. And the Republicans have been very much trying to keep this together. I think it's going to have a very hard time in the House.
All right, Jason, thanks for your input on both of those topics back there, something we're going to continue to watch throughout the day. That is the director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics, Jason Perry, on the In-Depth at 15 and 45. 7:49, it's traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy, things starting to slow down a bit.
Yeah, and we've got slowdowns increasing between 90th South and 53rd South, and then again in South Salt Lake. We're seeing more delays on Bangerter and Mountain View through Taylorsville and West Valley, and on the 201 freeway now coming to a stop between 80th and 7200 West before you get to pick up speeds once again. Jason?
And we had this fresh rain that moved through Davis County right around the Parish Lane down to we'll call it the North Salt Lake area, I guess. And that's where we're starting to see some delays back up. It's a lot of water splashing up into your face as you're trying to drive through that stretch there. Especially heavy right now around the North Interchange down to about 2300 North. That's where you're going to find the majority of the slowing. And then maybe tapping the brakes a few more times once you get down to about 6th North. Eric?
Foothill Drive bunching up and getting slow as you exit I-80 or the 215 eastbound, and it's going to be slow down mode all the way up to the Sunnyside intersection. If you're on I-80 heading west past Sugar House over to I-15 or east into the mountains, both cases looking good, but getting into Park City, your usual delays. It's starting to get a little bit better on US 40. We've had wet road conditions and slowdowns northbound, southbound near Jordanelle Reservoir throughout most of the morning, but right now we're seeing some improvement there. Down Utah County, I-15 is a strong commute northbound from Provo to Point of the Mountain, no problems. Need a perfect event venue? There's a place. This is the place, Heritage Park. Ideal for weddings, events featuring 11 venues, beautiful grounds, affordability for any celebration. Call or visit thisistheplace.org. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
And let's get a look at that 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. We had some rain this morning, Matt, and snow, I guess, in some places.
Yep, we've even had some scattered snow showers. These guys should be tapering off here soon. Partly cloudy skies, dry today, high of 48 for your Valentine's. 46 tomorrow, we've got rain, especially in the morning. I think we could see a wet commute for some of us. 46 by afternoon tomorrow, and those showers will become more broken. Partly cloudy skies, dry Friday, Saturday. Sunday, we're back at it with a small storm, high of 48. Dry Monday, that's President's Day, high of 53, and then another small storm scooting on in for next Tuesday.
That passing cloud this morning might have been brief, but man, it dumped quite a bit in the cameras.
Yeah.
We were watching the UDOT cameras, and the road was completely snowed in. So
packing a punch.
Yeah. All right, just cloudy out there right now and 37 degrees.
And the news at this hour is sponsored by Dominion Energy's ThermWise program. Experts help you save money. Start now at thermwise.com.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. You may not have that kind of time for weatherization, energy efficiency, and appliance rebates, but we do. Dominion Energy's ThermWise program has experts who know where and how to save money. They help homeowners and businesses find simple ways to conserve natural gas and rebates through upgrades that may help to save even more. We put our energy into helping you conserve it, so you can spend your 10,000 hours becoming an expert in what matters to you. Start with a home energy plan at thermwise.com.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333. Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Furnishing our living spaces hasn't changed much in decades. Until now. Euromax authentic European furniture starts with the room. Cabinets, sliding doors, dressers, and desks that are as smart as they are sleek and modern. Combining classic European design, exceptional quality American craftsmanship with convenience, comfort, and technology. Euromax declutters your space, designing entire walls of elegant, smart, and stylish storage, taking beautiful advantage of every inch. Living rooms, bathrooms, kitchen, and bedrooms. Features like concealed wiring, built-in charging, integrated lighting, automation and tech. Sustainable, eco-friendly furniture built for your lifestyle without compromise. Construction, finish, and hardware feature a lifetime warranty. Prepare to be excited about your living space. See it in action at EuromaxFurniture.com. EuromaxFurniture.com. Euromax, built for you.
Dave and Dujanovic. Last year, home prices dipped, but that was last year. Now, home sales are expected to increase. We'll give you a first-time homebuyer's guide on what you can do to prepare. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Markets are still in the green as the bell has rung and things are up and trading for the day. The Dow is up 70 after the big loss yesterday. The S&P is up 26 and the NASDAQ even up 92.
It's time for Cougar Tracks. Here's KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper.
On this Valentine's Day, there's a lot for BYU coach Mark Pope to love. For starters, his team defeated UCF 90-88 to put them over 500 in Big 12 play for the first time this season. Then BYU tied a Marriott Center record for most made free throws in a game with 40 in last night's win.
I should definitely be Coach of the Year that I actually managed to get our guys from a 50% free throw shooting team to a 95% free throw. 90? What is that? What is the math? 87. Listen, the game is going to have some anomalous moments, right? And so we had a little bit of an anomaly last game, but we still won the game. And that's the beauty of this team right now. And we had very different anomalies tonight. You know, I didn't know that we would win a game this year, getting to the free throw line 46 times, but I dig it, man. Give us another way that we can win a game. It's actually super cool.
BYU is now 18-6 and shifts its attention to a Saturday afternoon game at Oklahoma State. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
This time of year, I used to always, I had a collection of big sweaters, anything that would hide my waist, because I was 34 pounds or more heavier then. And I remember, I'd have a jacket with everything. Even in the summer when it was hot, I'd have to wear a jacket because I didn't tuck a shirt in for a decade. And then I tried the Soda weight loss program. I thought, doggone it, I'm going to be 60 this year. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right now. And it was easier than I thought, Tim. The weight just fell off in less than 3 months, and that was 2+ years ago. And I feel terrific.
Yeah, what you're talking about is how you feel about yourself.
Yes, you feel
The fact is,
terrific.
nobody else was noticing, that you had an untucked shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
It was all about how you felt about yourself and how that changed everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter went through the same experience with Soda. She lost 42 pounds. This is not a diet. This is helping you not just lose the weight, which you've probably done before in your life, but keep it off.
Keep it off.
You can go into the maintenance phase at no extra charge once you've reached that goal weight. Find out more by going to sodaweightloss.com. It's spelled SOTA, and it stands for State of the
Art.
Hey folks, it's Doug and Kathy with Window World.
Doug, can you believe it's been 20 years?
What's been 20 years?
Well, since we opened our first Window World store.
That is amazing. Our motto today is the same: quality products, professionally installed, backed up by our awesome warranty.
And our team shares those very same values.
Come see us today. We have stores in Murray and Spanish Fork for your convenience.
Experience the Window World difference. Call 801-281-8111 or visit windowworldutah.com.
And we promise no baloney.
You know that feeling? You flush the toilet and it goes down okay, but you feel like it used to really whoosh when it went down, and now it's more of a gurgle than a whoosh, and that's probably okay, but what if that gurgle instead of a whoosh means there's actually a bigger problem down there? Whipple that away. Making gurgly drains whoosh again is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. We can solve your sewer problems in just one day. Visit whipplethataway.com.
7:59 traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, travel through Salt Lake County is going to take you some extra time, especially in the 90 south to 215 stretch. That's where the biggest heavy traffic is, the thickest delay, I should say. You'll also have some wait time trying to get through the 9800 south and Bangerter intersection and 4700 south and Bangerter intersections. 201, this backups in Magna are gone, but we have a little bit of slowing just before you reach Bangerter Highway. Jason?
Fresh water on the road. That's what's caused the slowdown. Southbound I-15, right around the oil refineries, all the way down into downtown Salt Lake City. Also over on the west side belt as you slide past the airport, southbound side there. That's going to run a little bit slow. Looking a little bit less than regular speeds on some parts of Legacy right now, and the typical delays from 31st Street in Ogden to Riverdale Road. Eric?
And we got some normal slowdown spots as well in the Wasatch Bank, getting into Park City, exiting I-80 at Kimball Junction, going south on 224, and westbound Kearns Boulevard from US 40 over into town. US 40 itself has been a problem spot this morning because of wet roads, slick conditions, and right now you still got some northbound slowing going up the hill towards Jordanelle Reservoir, and then as you head up towards the Mayflower area. And then down Utah County, I-15 in Utah County is looking good, northbound from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain, but Mountain View Corridor turning into 2100 north, heading east over to the freeway, that's slow. Start your dream kitchen or a bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit new Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. Bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
48 for a high today. More rain coming tomorrow, that's for sure. About a 70% chance that'll cool things off a little bit. Right now, cloudy out there and 37 degrees.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
Today, the State Board of Education will meet to discuss whether Natalie Klein should be punished for a social media post that she made that appeared to cyberbully a teenage girl.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is following the story and joins us live from the state capitol. Adam?
Amanda, today's meeting follows a tidal waves of calls around the Wasatch Front for Klein to resign. This all started after she shared a picture of two high school girls basketball players in the Granite School District with the caption, quote, "Girls basketball ... Now, those demanding the board hold Klein accountable, among them is Governor Spencer Cox and Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson.
I certainly believe that she should resign. Natalie Klein has no business being in any kind of a position of authority or trust over children. She has lost all public trust.
The Salt Lake City, Mill Creek, and Murray City Councils, as well as the Granite School District, have also called for Klein's resignation, despite her issuing an apology on social media. Today's meeting is at 3 o'clock. Be sure to stay tuned to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News this afternoon for the latest updates. Live at the State Board of Education offices in Salt Lake City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Let's keep our eye on the Hill. 2024 youth organizations from church groups and sports leagues could soon be required to do background checks on volunteers. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston also joins us live from the state capitol. Peter?
Tim, those service organizations that you mentioned are not required in Utah to check if their volunteers or employees are on a sex offender registry. So 2 Provo lawmakers have been meeting here at the Capitol to propose a bill that would hold groups accountable for not vetting their workers, or if they hire on a person after finding them on a sex offender list anyway. Bill sponsor and State Senator Keith Grover tells the Daily Herald that this just takes a 20 or 30-second search to complete. The bill would also require youth service groups to train their staff on how to notice and report signs of child abuse. As an enforcement mechanism, any youth organization sued for a possible sex abuse case would count as negligent if they failed to check a worker's name on the state and national sex offender lists. Live from the state capitol, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Utah's Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson sent a scathing letter to Cache County Clerk David Benson about violations that took place during last November's election. KSL News Radio's Mark Jackson reports.
The letter orders Benson to review and respond to an accompanying report that lists 31 findings and recommendations. Among the findings were some ballots that were not properly handled, documented, or stored. The office did not use state elections software to properly document and process challenge ballots. Recommendations include a review of the Utah Elections Handbook, Utah election law, administrative rules, and direction from the Lieutenant Governor's office to ensure Cache County is fully compliant with the law. Mark Jackson, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. For only the second time in U.S. history, a presidential cabinet member has been impeached. Here's ABC's M. Wynn in Washington.
The Republican-led House narrowly impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
The yeas are 214 and the nays are 213. The resolution is adopted.
After a failed effort last week, they accused Mayorkas of failing to enforce immigration laws, triggering a crisis at the southern border that has resulted in millions of illegal migrant crossings since President Biden took office.
The impeachment articles are expected to be rejected, however, by the state Senate's Democratic majority.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has returned home from the hospital after needing treatment for a bladder issue related to his prostate cancer surgery. The Pentagon says Austin is well and has resumed his full functions and duties.
Over 200 protesters calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war blocked off the intersection of 400 South and 400 West in Salt Lake City last night. KSL TV's Debbie Worthen was there.
Denise Weaver is one of the organizers.
This cause is important to me personally because all of our liberation is tied together, and there's no freedom and there's no liberation or democracy here for me if there's no liberation in Palestine.
Organizers said they chose a busy intersection to make a point and to get officials to take notice.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Got a report of a crash, and I can see it in the camera now. Northbound Bangerter just before 9800 South, South Jordan. So some extra delay between the Costco and 9800 South over on Bangerter. Wet conditions affecting your drive south through especially Centerville, both on Legacy and I-15, and then slowing on both 215 and I-15 between North Salt Lake and downtown. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
One of Utah's largest school districts will now use artificial intelligence in the classroom. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson explains.
The Jordan School District is partnering with a company called School AI to bring learning to a whole new level. The AI will help teachers track their students' progress and give teachers more insight on how to help. It can also give students personalized, real-time feedback. Another benefit is that School AI handles a lot of administrative tasks for teachers, giving them more time with their students.
The company says more than 20,000 teachers nationwide have already adopted AI in the classroom.
The BYU Cougars survived a late comeback by the UCF Knights to win their 6th Big 12 game.
Jackson Robinson, corner three. Go! Jackson Robinson!
Of course.
80-69. BYU by 11.
He makes it so much fun, doesn't he? The UCF Knights cut down BYU's 19-point lead to just 2 points, which included making 4 3-point shots in the final minute of the game. BYU will now play at Oklahoma State on Saturday.
That 2-point spread was the final, by the way, 90-88. Tonight, the Aggies will be at Wyoming as they try and get back into the top 25. The Jazz are also in action tonight, hosting the Lakers. You'll be able to hear that game. You might even be sitting there in Lower Bowl. We're going to air the game at 7, but coming up in about a little more than a half hour, we'll have another keyword for you.
To get a chance to win those tickets. Major League Baseball will have pitchers and catchers report today, and there is a good number of players with Utah ties in the big leagues. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live. Michael?
Amanda, the spotlight comes as Utah's been making a real effort to bring on an MLB team. And until that happens, there's a handful of guys who have made their major league debut. Now, arguably most notable is Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Michael Rucker and free agent C.J. Cron. They're BYU and Utah alumni, respectively. You can also look for Chicago's pitcher Tanner Banks. The White Sox also have Joe Barlow catching. Both of these guys played for the Salt Lake Bruins beforehand. And also catching for the Kansas City Royals is Logan Porter. He played for the Utah Tech Trailblazers. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
I-15 dipping below the normal speed now, northbound and southbound, getting closer to downtown. We'll see if we can figure out why next.
Spend time with KSL News Radio and get a deeper understanding of the world around us.
I do listen to KSL so much because you've got voices like Boyd Matheson.
I listen to him every day.
You can trust him.
Inside Sources, weekdays 1 to 3.
On KSL News Radio.
One of my favorite reasons to come to NPS is the incredible deals that you can get. And it just depends on when you go in as to what you're going to find. But what you'll always find, Steve, is amazing deals of at least 30 to 70% off. But what NPS does so well is they have additional deals for more than the 30 to 70% off. Like some of the stuff that's going on during their Valentine's Day sale going on through Valentine's.
Yeah, I noticed that a couple of things. Kitchen supplies, 25% off. Bedding and linen, that's always a popular item. I bought a set and I thought, oh, for $50? That can't be good. For a king-size bed, they were amazing. The best sheets I've ever bought.
Well, and I am interested because dresses are 60% off right now, and it's the season to start finding prom dresses. It's the season for these Valentine's Day dresses. No, for my daughters.
Oh.
We spent a whole day trying to come up with dresses, so come to NPS where you can get them 60% off. 4 locations, 1150 North Main in Layton, 475 North State in Orem, and 2 locations, industrial and retail, at 1600 Empire Road in Salt Lake City. NPS, a nice place to save.
Join Mike Stevens of Capital Wealth Advisors for Retire Right Radio, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's Retire Right Radio with Mike Stevens, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get up to a $1,000 prepaid card when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today.
Give your business a head start in 2024. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Call or go online to switch today. Ends 2/21/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 50 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offer requires premium internet.
KSL News Time, 8:09. Traffic and weather together on the 9s is brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Usual slowdowns starting to appear out there, Andy.
Yeah, I-15, Midvale to Murray, but we've got a crash over on Bangerter Highway just north of 104th South. They've got the left lane blocked, and then there's other construction barrels on the right side. So that plus the light at 9800 South making it a little bit slower in South Jordan on northbound Bangerter. Jason?
And your delay spots are southbound I-15 from 31st Street in Ogden to Riverdale Road. That's typical for this time of the morning. Atypical, however, is the delay that we've got going on southbound I-15 from the north interchange to downtown Salt Lake City. That was because we had a fresh storm move through and there's water all over the roads and spray kicking up everywhere. Likewise, over on the west side belt, if you're southbound trying to slide past the airport. Eric?
And you got some wet road conditions still on the Wasatch back, not as bad as it was maybe an hour or so ago, but you've got some northbound slowing getting up the hill toward Jordan Reservoir if you're on US 40, and getting into Park City, usual slowdowns westbound Kearns Boulevard and southbound 224 if you're in the latter case if you're exiting I-80 at Kimball Junction. I-15 Utah County, that's looking just fine. A little bit of extra congestion now as you head on 89 from Spanish Fork through Mapleton en route to Springville if you're going that way. And if you're out in Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, just your usual delays, Pioneer Crossing and 2100 north in both cases, eastbound approaching Saratoga Road. With fresh snow comes fresh tracks at Murdoch Chevrolet. Right now receive 2.9% for 6 years on Silverado. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds on the increase this afternoon, but a high mild in the upper 40s. Overnight, we'll drop off to 38 with showers increasing. Tomorrow, we're talking about 46 for a high. Rain likely in the morning, then showers by afternoon. It might even get a little breezy out of the west. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now in Salt Lake City, still 37 degrees.
Anyone driving in a car right now will want to listen to what Debbie Dujanovic has to say in a couple of minutes. There's a new proposal that wants to change how you pay your car registration fees. That's coming up in just a few minutes here on KSL News Radio.
All right, just what I need, something else to figure out. Streaming live, of course, on KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. We've been telling you about Les Olson IT and the fact that, yes, you can still get your copiers and printers there, but let me tell you, if you've got a stressed-out IT manager in your office who has been showing signs and you really have kind of kept from bringing in some extra help because of cost, or you just don't trust the move.
Right.
Les Olson IT is really the answer.
I mean, look at the things they can do. They can be your help desk and handle help desk requests. They can help with cybersecurity. They can help with data backup and store. They can help with hardware deployment. They can help with everything.
And by the way, that includes video surveillance and building security, right down to facial recognition, license plate recognition. Like if you have a license plate number of somebody that you don't want on the premises.
Yeah.
You can do this all from your own phone, or your IT manager can do it from their own phone at home.
This is why we think of them as business partners, because what does your business need? Les Olson will help you get what you need, the latest technology for the best price.
And that's from scratch, too. They can run all that cabling right from the street into the servers that they install in your place. Get to know Les Olson IT. They've got 9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas.
Or go to lesolson.com.
Have you heard of IRS Tax Code Section 1.408A-4? It sounds complicated, but it's a simple tax law thousands of Utah families are using to lock in lower tax bills when they retire. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, and some of this money is in an IRA or 401k, it could save you tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars in future tax bills. You can find out how much you could save by requesting a free and confidential retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, a 5-time winner of Utah's Best of State Award. For your free retirement tax analysis, call 801-896-9622. 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Boss Retirement Solutions.
Experience classical hits through a new lens. The Utah Symphony presents Masterworks Magnified, themed and fun-filled concert events that take you beyond the music. Are you a book lover? February 2nd and 3rd, discover the world of music inspired by literature. Then on April 26th and 27th, explore the powerful connection between music and motion. Bring a date or a few friends for a night out at downtown Salt Lake City's Abravanel Hall. Before the concert, grab drinks and specialty concessions and explore themed activities. Then settle into your seat. A host will guide you through the music, and captivating visuals will be projected as the orchestra plays. Masterworks Magnified is the perfect first symphony concert or a chance to experience classical music in a new way. Tickets start at $21 at utahsymphony.org/magnified.
Experience classical music hits through a new lens with Utah Symphony's Masterworks Magnified performances. Learn more at utahsymphony.org.
KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
today the State Board of Education will meet to discuss whether Natalie Klein should be punished for a social media post she made that appeared to cyberbully a teenage girl. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Utah's Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson sent a scathing letter to Cache County Clerk David Benson about violations that took place during last November's election.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Bangor backups continue partly because of a crash just between 104th and 9800 South. I-15 comes to a stop northbound at 7200 South. And road conditions seem to be improving a little bit in Centerville, but you've still got reduced speeds in North Salt Lake and downtown coming out of Davis County. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's, high of 48. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now we have a little light rain and 37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's get a look at our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. It's the first impeachment of a cabinet member in more than 150 years. House Republicans say Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is deserving of the punishment because of the Biden administration's handling of border security. House Democrats call it theatrics. A previous impeachment attempt failed. ABC's Selena Wang has more on House Speaker Mike Johnson's victory this time around.
Even some of Johnson's fellow Republicans acknowledge the charges against Mayorkas do not rise to high crimes or misdemeanors, and the Homeland Security Secretary even had a role in negotiating a bipartisan border security bill that included policies Republicans themselves demanded. But Donald Trump derailed that deal, claiming it would give Biden a political win.
The White House is slamming House Republicans for sidestepping a standalone aid bill for Ukraine and Israel. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
The White House is accusing House Speaker Mike Johnson of playing politics and damaging America's national security by not allowing a vote on the $95 billion foreign aid bill passed with bipartisan support in the Senate. Johnson saying this Tuesday on Capitol Hill.
National security begins with border security. We have said that all along.
The White House is calling that a, quote, dizzying border security tailspin, saying Johnson had the chance last week to vote on legislation that included border security, but he bowed to political pressure from Donald Trump. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
3 Washington, D.C. police officers were shot this morning. None of the injuries believed to be life-threatening. They were responding to a barricade situation. The shots fired from inside a home, it's believed. 3 area schools are on lockdown protectively. A car veering off the road and straight into the emergency room of a hospital in Austin, Texas overnight. It's what it sounded like. The driver killed, 5 others hurt. Doesn't appear to be an intentional act. Supposed to be in the 60s in Kansas City today. Looking good for the Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade to be held downtown. You're listening to ABC News.
Yeah, I just saw video of that, and they're already lined up in Kansas City, believe it or not. All right, Debbie says there's looking to make a change on how you pay your registration fees. If it doesn't simplify
for your car.
If it doesn't simplify it, I don't want to know.
Oh, I think it gives people a great option. So let me walk you through what this legislation would do if it's passed. It's been introduced on Utah's Capitol Hill, and it would allow you to opt into a monthly installment payment for your car registration. So you pay month to month instead of all up front. Why is this beneficial? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. It's kind of hurts to pay, a couple $100 all at once. And if you got a couple of cars to register at the same time, now it's for, exactly. Also, I've often called this called the way the state handles it now. It's like a government-sanctioned legal scheme to keep our car registration fees, even if we're in a crash that totals our car, even if we sell our car kind of mid-year, maybe a few months after we pay the fees, we don't get those fees back. Yeah. It is a no refund policy, so you don't have any leftover money that's pushed toward your next car registration. The state just gets to keep it. Now, the state would say, well, we use it for road improvements and road repairs and, keeping potholes filled. But this would change that. It would also add a little bit of a surcharge to the monthly installments. I'm sure that would be to cover the cost of taking the money out of your account or billing your credit card every single month. But it is being seriously considered on Capitol Hill, and it looks like it may have a chance at passing. I love the option. I think it particularly helps people who are facing a tight budget, who can't afford to pay all at once. And I'm totally taking that option if it passes, because I just sold a car, and I still had 4 months left on my registration, and I'm just bugged that I just didn't get that money.
And I just bought a new truck, and I'm scared to death of what that annual fee is going to be.
Be much easier to take it a bite at a time.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it today in the 10 o'clock hour, guys.
Okay.
All right. Look forward to it. Dave and Dujanovic, 9 to noon today on KSL. This portion of Utah's Morning News is brought to you by Revere Health.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Still have the crash, Bangerter just after 104 South, and we still have some slowdowns on North 15 between 72nd and 53rd South, starting to break up just a little. Jason?
And we have this accident, Wall Avenue, 30th Street. There is a tow truck on scene, but the left lane is blocked, so you're going to want to move over to the right. A little bit slow, southbound I-15, once you get down to about the north interchange down to downtown Salt Lake City. Eric?
Northbound Foothill Drive slow from Parley's Way up to the Sunnyside intersection, getting into Park City, southbound 224, westbound Kearns Boulevard. Both of those are slow going as well. Update your kitchen with Durden's Appliance, where they meet any competitor's price. Visit Durdens.com or on 5th South and Bountiful. Durden's, brands you know at prices you'll love. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast going for a high of 48 today. Partly cloudy skies for your Valentine's. Tomorrow 46, rain in the morning, then showers. 47, partly cloudy on your Friday, keeping it dry with some clouds and sun on Saturday. High of 49. 48, rain showers on Sunday. Partly cloudy, dry, 53 on Monday. How about next Tuesday, though? Another storm trying to get in here. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Light rain starting to fall now downtown, 37 degrees, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Hey, we have Lakers Jazz tickets to give away, and we are going to give you another key word, which you can text to 57500 and get in on that giveaway, which we'll do this morning. We'll give that word to you at 8:45, so don't go away. That's coming up in about, 20 minutes or so.
Good luck. Jazz could use your help.
Yeah.
BMW IBU World Cup Biathlon action returns to Soldier Hollow Nordic Center March 8th through 10th. Don't miss this thrilling sport featuring the world's best biathletes, combining heart-pumping ski racing with precision target shooting. Cheer on competitors from Team USA, Norway, Italy, France, Germany, Sweden, and more. General admission is free for all spectators. Premium seating tickets are also available. Get more info at IBUWorldCupUtah.com.
Revere Health is dedicated to making healthcare easier and more accessible by offering the latest technologies to improve the patient experience. We offer convenient telehealth appointments so you can receive care from the comfort of your own home. We also offer an online patient portal called Follow My Health that enables you to manage your healthcare online. When you download the Follow My Health app, you can exchange direct messages with your doctor, view lab and test results as soon as they are available, renew prescriptions, and review upcoming appointments. If you're ready to schedule your annual physical for 2024, we've made that easier too. Revere Health now offers the ability to schedule appointments online for primary care and select specialties. Visit our website at reverehealth.com to learn more or to schedule your next appointment online. Through these convenient solutions, Revere Health demonstrates its commitment to quality, patient-centric care every day. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner for life.
Bish's is skipping this year's big RV show for a big reason. It costs each dealer a fortune, and guess who gets stuck with the bill? Yep, you. So skip the big show expense and come to the Bish's Better Than Show pricing event for free admission, free parking, and better than show pricing on new and used RVs. Only at Bish's RV in Salt Lake and American Fork, February 12th through the 17th and President's Day. Better pricing's big, but better selection? That's huge. Instead of spending your money to see a handful of models hauled to the show, you're getting Better Than Show pricing on our entire inventory of new and used RVs. You'll find pricing as low as $140 per month on approved credit, plus clearance pricing on all remaining new 2023s. You'll also make 0 payments until May on approved credit and get generous trade-in offers on your current RV. Start shopping now at skipthervshow.com. Better brands, bigger selection, lower than show pricing, and free admission? Why settle? Come to the Better Than Show pricing event at Bish's RV in Salt Lake and American Fork, February 12th through the 17th and President's Day. Bish's RV, where memories begin. Stock number 73504 and 76976. Based on 20% down, 8.99% APR for 180 months. Subject to prior sale. See dealer for details.
Dave and Dujanovic. Last year, home prices dipped, but that was last year. Now, home sales are expected to increase. We'll give you a first-time homebuyer's guide on what you can do to prepare. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Launching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. JetBlue shares are up more than 18% after activist investor Carl Icahn took an almost 10% stake in the airline. Icahn purchased shares in January and February, saying that he believes JetBlue stock is undervalued and represents an attractive investment opportunity.
Sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy
Yeah.
there, isn't it? They know if he's going to invest that it's
Must be something there.
It's going to raise the price. All right, Valentine's Day meant to celebrate the depths of feeling you have for loved ones. So it may be surprising how much of the shopping is done at the last minute. Walmart says about 75% of its Valentine's Day sales happen on February 13th and 14th. I'm sure that card aisle right now is stacked. Open Table says last year 30% of the Valentine's Day dinner reservations were made the day before. 18% were made on the holiday itself.
And we got a text this morning from a listener who said, I was just at Smith's, and the first 5 people in line were guys with cards
and flowers.
And flowers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Cinderella are looking to unionize. Disney Park cast members and labor organizers say the performers want better safety conditions and scheduling policies. While most of the workers at the Disneyland Resort already have labor unions, about 1,700 performers and character actors do not.
You don't want Jafar mad at you.
No.
If he's roaming Main Street. All right, the markets this morning are in the green after a really nasty day yesterday. The Dow's up 138. It finished down over 500 yesterday. The S&P is up 37. The NASDAQ making some good gains. It's almost a full percentage point with a plus of 148.
New crash westbound on 30th Street in Ogden, just past Wall Avenue, heading over to I-15. We'll check that. And the rest of your commute just ahead. Let's talk for a little bit about Superior Water and Air and their awesome plumbers. I mean, the kinds of things that they've done for us. Most recently, we found like a little bit of a leak behind the shower knob, and it turned out that there was a problem behind the shower.
Ooh.
And so they got in there and got rid of whatever the problem was, fixed the pipes. They had to reinstall some pipes in there. But what looked like a little problem that I could have ignored, the longer I ignored it, the bigger the problem would have been.
Yeah.
I am so grateful to work with a company that I know is not going to overcharge me and that will be there, on the spot whenever I need them.
Well, and I've shared this story when Landon came into our house not that long ago to help us with a problem in the basement bathroom. And he gave me options.
Mm-hmm.
You can either fix it for this price, which was tiny, or we could go tear the wall out and actually move the plumbing because we know you're going to do a future remodel. We walked through it all. And so we decided which way we wanted to go. But it's one of the things I love about them is they are not there to upsell you. They'll never do that because they will think and believe that relationship is more important than a big sales day.
Right. And I've learned so much from them that now I do regular tune-ups on my expensive machinery in the house, like my, furnace and air conditioner and water heater and stuff, so that it will last longer.
Yeah. Here's a number to keep handy in case you do have an emergency, 801-974-9090, or look them up online at superiorwaterandair.com.
The nationally ranked Cougars are on a roll.
Foose dives low, wait, up, and good! Drops it over the 10 for 2.
Saturday, it's BYU, Oklahoma State.
Khalifa down the lane, still gets there, and lays it up and in! He was coast to coast like buttered toast.
Pregame is at 11 and tip-off at 12. Listen Saturday, BYU, Oklahoma State, on Utah's legacy home of Big 12 basketball and the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
8:29. If you're still out there on the drive, let's check it. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. How is it going, Andy?
Well, they're cleaning up a crash over on Bangerter Highway just north of 104th South, But the slowdowns continue up to the 9800 South intersection. Had a report of a crash I-15 near 4500 South, supposed to be on the right shoulder. I don't see it in the cameras around there, but I do still see heavy traffic in Midvale and South Salt Lake. Jason?
Well, they got that car that was in that accident on Wall Street in Ogden loaded up onto a tow truck and driven away. So all lanes are open now on Wall Avenue, so you shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. Southbound I-15 still running a little less than the speed limit. Once you get down to about the north interchange, that'll last you down into the Salt Lake, actually downtown Salt Lake City. Pretty much everything else, though, is moving along really nicely up north. Eric?
Crash in Utah County, northbound I-15, but it's a right shoulder crash. It's an American Fork just past 500 East, not causing any delays at the moment, and you're still at a normal 24-minute drive time from Spanish Fork up to Point of the Mountain. Getting over to the freeway, your usual issues on Mountain View Corridor as it turns into 2100 North, that whole stretch going past Redwood Road over to the freeway, you've got your usual delays there. When you choose Performance Automotive and Bountiful, you're choosing convenience with Ford dealers inventory. Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country all in one place. PerformanceBountiful.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The rain should move out of here later on this morning if it hasn't already, but we'll get more tomorrow. Another system moving in. 70% chance of rain tomorrow. Another chance on Sunday, but we'll stay in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Right now, it's 37 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Utah voters could be asked to approve a change to the state's constitution when it comes to voter initiatives and taxes.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small explains. Adam?
Representative Jason Kyle's bill and joint resolution would require any initiative that introduces a new tax or increases an existing one to get 60% of voters to sign off on it rather than a simple 50% majority. Rusty Cannon with the Utah Taxpayers Association explained to a Senate committee why he believes this would be a good thing.
Raising the threshold to pass an initiative puts a check on these out-of-state special interests who want to increase taxes on Utah families to fund their priorities.
Now, it only needs the approval of the full Senate before it goes to Governor Spencer Cox's desk, though even if he signs it, voters will have the final say in November since it would amend the state constitution. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. House Republicans voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas last night, while Democrats accused the GOP of putting politics over the Constitution.
We've got a statement from the Department of Homeland Security that comes out right after this impeachment has now been formalized. They say, quote, House Republicans will be remembered by history for trampling on the Constitution for political gain rather than working to solve the serious challenges at our border. Again, that is a statement from the Department of Homeland Security.
ABC's Jay O'Brien says Republicans want to hold Mayorkas accountable for the situation at the southern border. The impeachment is not expected to get through the democratically controlled Senate.
Utah's 4 House members voted unanimously to impeach Mayorkas. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has more on their reactions.
Congressman Blake Moore actually voted no last time, but that was a strategic vote to be able to bring this back up again. He tells David Dujanovic why he's actually for impeachment.
Jim Mayorkas has had a dereliction of duty. He has violated the law by not adhering to certain standards within the immigration code, and allowing for the catch and release program to exist actually is against the law.
Congressman Burgess Owens also defended his vote against the secretary, writing on X that, quote, it's not extreme to demand accountability for the chaos at our southern border. Representatives Malloy and Curtis have not yet made a public comment. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
I'm sure you've noticed gas prices are creeping up again. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson has more on what you can expect at the pump.
A gallon of gas will cost you about 10 to 15 cents more this week than it did last week. AAA says it's normal for prices to start inching up at the end of February as drivers prepare for spring and summer travel. Prices are also on the rise because of tension in the Middle East, impacting the global oil supply.
The state average now up to $2.87 a gallon, which is about 90 cents cheaper than this time last year.
A Utah Highway Patrol trooper remains in the hospital this morning after falling from a bridge while trying to spike the tires of a suspect. KSL TV's Andrew Adams is following the story.
Utah Highway Patrol said everyone's thoughts were with the trooper who was badly injured during the ordeal.
They want to know that they're safe. They want to know that they're going to be okay. They want to be there and try to help.
The man, Highway Patrol says, faces a long road ahead, but troopers are grateful he survived his fall.
The suspect was wanted as part of a drug investigation, and he was later captured.
A majority of Utahns think that cell phones should not be allowed in the classroom.
69% of adults say they support a no cell phone policy in classrooms, requiring kids to keep them in their lockers or backpacks. The poll from Deseret News found the most supportive age group was 57 years and older. 80% think a policy should be in place. The most recently graduated age range, 18 to 24, were the least supportive. Only 17% support a ban in the classroom. Governor Spencer Cox has been pushing for a cell phone ban for a while now. Ogden High is the only school to have put a restriction in place so far. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Traffic on the freeway moving better now, at least in the middle of the valley. We're starting to see traffic return to the speed limit, but it's in South Salt Lake and downtown that we've got some slowing in both directions. In fact, southbound between 2300 North and 6 North, and then northbound between 21st South and 6 South. But it's looking a lot better in other spots on the commute that we've been having troubles with earlier in the morning. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has returned home from the hospital after needing treatment for a bladder issue that was related to his prostate cancer surgery. The Pentagon says Austin is well and has resumed his full functions and duties.
A group called Braver Angels is trying to make politics less divisive. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more.
Braver Angels hosts workshops where Republicans and Democrats meet to address their own party's imperfections and then work together. In these meetings, volunteer Casey Jorgensen's seen firsthand how people learn to let go of bitterness.
The other person may have the same exact values you do. Sometimes we just stack them differently.
One example that she's seen has been in the immigration issue.
Some people feeling like one solution is more compassionate than the other solution, but they both are trying to be compassionate.
Some of these meetings went so well that the people who took part are trying to send their findings all the way up to Congress. You can learn more about these meetings on Braver Angels' website. Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Some Utah farmers and ranchers have cut back on using fertilizers and tilling their land as a way to save water and create healthier crops. KSL's greenhouse horticulturist Ton Bettis says overworked soil leads to erosion.
So the soil becomes a lot more hard and compacted, and water is more likely to run off of it instead of through it.
This method of farming involves planting cover crops after the harvest that adds nutrients to the soil, and Ton says the same methods can work for you in your home garden.
Valentine's Day spending is expected to go up this year.
According to the National Retail Federation, the average American will spend about $185 celebrating Valentine's this year, with the nation as a whole spending an estimated $25.8 billion. The NRF study asked more than 8,300 customers about their Valentine's shopping plans. Nearly 60% say they're planning on delivering some candy. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
We have just a bit of brake tapping northbound and southbound as you approach downtown Salt Lake City now on I-15. We'll check traffic and weather together in 2 minutes.
Bigger stories demand more accountability, more experience, more trust.
If it's like an election day or we're expecting some bad weather,
KSL presents the story. Unbiased.
It's a good local source.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Are you ready to just take charge of your physical health and well-being? Now's the perfect time to do it, and the best way to do it is with SOTA Weight Loss. SOTA stands for State-of-the-Art Weight Loss. Because it is. It's state-of-the-art. It'll help you deal with all of the challenges that normally go unaddressed when it deals with weight loss. You're going to have your own coach and nutritionist that are going to help you tackle the mental, emotional habits, the behaviors associated that will allow you to let that excess weight go. The pounds and inches fall off. It's amazing. I lost 37 pounds in just 90 days, and now it's been almost 2 full years. I am still 37 pounds down. I've never felt better all through SOTA Weight Loss, and I'm not the only one. There's thousands of people across the country with similar results. It puts you in charge and you in control of what your body needs, how you get it, and how you can really thrive. Do it with SOTA Weight Loss, as I always say, when it comes to your SOTA Weight Loss journey. There's no time to lose, only time to win, so start winning today. Check it out at SOTAweightloss.com, SOTAweightloss.com.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
We've had a couple of great listeners out there that text us and were wondering about the condition of that trooper that you heard about during Jeff's show yesterday that fell from a bridge while he was trying to spike the tires of a suspect who was on the run. We understand he's in the hospital, obviously, but they have stabilized his condition. That's all we know this morning. But thanks again for reaching out and being concerned for our great officers.
8:39, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
And some heavy traffic still in place, I-15 between 53rd and 33rd South, but it looks much better on 201, Bangerter. Still have a little bit of slowing in South Jordan and Bangerter, but it isn't because of a crash like it was earlier. Jason?
And the heavy traffic is southbound I-15, just past the North Interchange. Right around 2300 North is where it's really heavily concentrated there. And by the time you get to about 10th North, it's going to be mostly cleared out. Victory Road, very heavy right now, southbound as you head in down towards the Capitol there. That's pretty much all we've got going up in Weber and Davis counties. Eric?
Getting into Park City, we've got some slowdowns as we usually do. Southbound off of I-80 using Kimball Junction on 224. And that's once you get past the Canyons area, it does get a little bit better as you head into the central part of Park City. And you've got your usual westbound delays on Kearns Boulevard. That's 248 as you head from US 40 into town. Along the 215 East Belt, no problems right now from 6200 South Knutson's Corner up to the mouth of the canyon, but you still got slowing on Foothill Drive going up to the U. Start your dream kitchen or bath today at Bedrock Quartz, where it's only 7 days from template to installation. Visit New Murray or Spanish Fork showrooms or bedrockquartz.com. bedrockquartz.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, we're looking at partly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 48 degrees for your Valentine's. If you have evening plans, it should stay dry, but clouds will thicken up. Overnight, we're going to drop off to 38 with a couple of showers increasing. Tomorrow, we're talking about morning rain, then showers by afternoon, temperatures in the mid-40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
It's actually quite sunny downtown right now, 37 degrees.
We're going to speak live with Congressman John Curtis in just a moment about his vote to impeach Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
Stay with us for that conversation. And remember, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And did you know that we get a bunch of service calls per year from people who didn't even hire us? That means they originally hired someone else to replace their siding, gutters, and windows. Then later, when a problem popped up, they tried to call their contractor back to fix it, only to find out that the contractor has ceased to exist. They're gone, done, out of business. At RGS Exteriors, we've been serving Utah for 70 years. As a fifth-generation owned contractor, we've got customers who are the grandkids of our customers we had in the 1950s and 60s. We're not going anywhere. We will be here when you need us, period. For siding, gutters, and windows, now and forever, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit at rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Hi, this is Doug Wright with yet another great experiment you can try right there at home. I want you to take 4 bags of water softener salt. Lift 3 of the bags with one hand, good luck on that, and 1 bag with your other hand. Now, if you're like most people, you'll probably find that 3 bags of salt weigh about 3 times as much as 1 bag of salt. And that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're shopping for a water softener. You see, Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer, their water softeners are so well designed, they use only 1 bag of salt for every 3 that other water softeners use. Now, I can't speak for you, but I'm not a fan of lower back pain, and as our little experiment has hopefully demonstrated, carrying that 1 bag of salt, it's a lot easier on your back than carrying 3. That's just one of the many reasons you should look into water softeners from Connecticut of Utah, an authorized Connecticut dealer. To learn more, call Connecticut of Utah, 801-576-8600, or go to softwaterutah.com.
KSL News Time, 8:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah's members of the House of Representatives all voted to impeach the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, a gallon of gas will cost you about 10 to 15 cents more this week than it did last week.
Third, it's The Drive, traffic and weather together.
Slow spots in a couple of areas, I-15 and North Salt Lake between 215 and Rose Park, and then some northbound traffic still busy around Bangalore Highway Draper's exit, and then 45th South to the I-80 turnoff in South Salt Lake. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds and sun today for your Valentine's, high of 48, then rain showers tomorrow. I'm Matt Johnson.
37 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
All right, before we talk with Representative Curtis, we've got a little business to take care of here that could put one of our listeners sitting down in the lower bowl for the Jazz game tonight against the Lakers. We've told you, you just have to text the word Jazz to 57500, but here's another chance.
You just text the word cheer, just cheer, all by itself, CHEER, to 57500 and double your chances of winning those tickets.
Good luck tonight. Well, all four of Utah's House members voted to impeach Secretary of Department of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas.
Congressman John Curtis joins us live. How is this helpful, Representative?
Well, first of all, good morning. And I was distracted. I was texting cheer.
Good luck.
That's great.
Look, this is an expression from the House of incredible frustration. I think that's how I would read this, is what's happening down there. I think everybody can see is wrong, and just our inability to get the administration to listen to us and to pay attention to this, I think is the biggest thing that we were trying to send the message to with that vote.
Yeah, and the question always comes up, why go through this when you know it's going nowhere in the Senate?
Well, I think, if you look at the tools we have in the House, we don't get the opportunity to be part of the appointment process of these people that the Senate does. And so this is, how do we express this frustration? And right now, I think this was one of the few tools we felt like we had.
Is the purpose of impeachment to express frustration, though, if you'll forgive me, Representative?
Well, let me also draw a huge distinction between this and an elected official. Impeachment of an elected official is overturning the will of the voters. That's not what we have here. We have somebody whose job is to take care of the border. And I just made this recent trip down there last week. And what I saw is not only their election of that duty, but of turning the keys over to the cartels. That's what is the most frustrating to me. It's one thing to set aside and let this happen. It's a whole other thing to empower cartels, and they have become dominant down there. They decide who comes across our border, when they come across, if they come across, and that's Mayorkas' job, and he's just not doing it.
Well, of course, he is the head of the department, but then the question becomes, the secretary can't act outside of the boundaries that have been given him by his boss,
right,
the president, so why go after the secretary?
Well, I think, I'll refer back to this. He's an appointed official, and this is his job. Now, he may or may not be carrying out the will of President Biden, but he certainly has the ability to push back and certainly has discretion within his office, and we don't see any of that being exercised at all. Not in and it's not even like it's an attempt. That's what's, I think, frustrating. Is like, let's give this a try. Let's do what we can do. Utahns want to do this in a humane way. We want the right people coming into our state. This isn't about that at all. This is about creating the most inhumane situation that I can imagine down there at the border, and blessing these caravans that are coming up. That 60% of the women are sexually abused in these caravans, and we own that as Americans. We're encouraging that and fostering that, and we have to own that. And it's just not something that's acceptable.
Are you concerned at all, Congressman, that using impeachment in this way will now create a regular, every term, the party that's not in power will impeach secretaries of the sitting president?
Anybody who is this derelict in their duty, I'm fine with that. This is the point. It's like, yes, it is a tool that you don't use very often, but if you look at the crisis of humanity that's happening at the border, if you look at the fentanyl that's coming into Utah, if you look at the cartels and how they're flourishing, something needs to be done.
Final question: what is the the $95 billion spending bill for Israel and Ukraine going to do when it arrives in the House?
Well, we don't. I can't tell you exactly. As you've heard, the Speaker Johnson is not very receptive to it. I was in a meeting this morning where we were discussing options, and I feel it's unfortunate that the conversation is where it's at. I think we're asking all the wrong questions in this. And if I could shout from the housetop, I'd say, look, what is America's best interest? Well, A, that's to not give Putin a victory. B, it's to make sure that President Xi in China knows that we're not going to let this turn our head while he goes into Taiwan. And there's some really critical issues here that we're not really, in my opinion, we're not having the right discussion. And I'm hoping that we can, in the House, start having the right discussion and making good decisions that will make sure we do the right thing in Ukraine, but also make sure we do the right thing in the United States' interest.
I know we have to let you go, but just quickly, if you have the chance, will you vote for the foreign aid bill?
Listen, I've always, and Amanda, you accuse me, I got to break that down in kind of little pieces. Easy support to Israel. I've always supported Ukraine, and we need to make sure that she doesn't invade Taiwan. But there are so many layers of complication on how we do this, and I think the American people need to realize too that we say it's Ukraine aid. The bulk of that money is replenishing U.S. supplies to make sure that we're in a strong position. And that's why I think we're really having the wrong discussion about this, and not sure the American people know exactly what it is we're trying to do.
Representative John Curtis, thanks for your time this morning.
Yeah, thanks, both.
Always good to talk to Congressman John Curtis here on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
All right, let's get a look at the drive. Traffic and weather together is brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. I think we've got a fairly good-sized bird sitting on a UDOT camera, Andy. That's a tail feather, I think.
My goodness.
Yeah, sometimes the bugs will get on there, too, and they're giant.
That looks like a big bird.
Yeah, well, right now, if you're on I-15, you've got a little bit of slowing between Bangerter and Bluffdale, and then a little bit in South Salt Lake. 201 has started to back up right after Bangerter Highway going over to 3200 West. Might have a crash or some debris or something, but that was clear until just a few minutes ago, and now it started to slow again. Jason?
And the roads are starting to dry out now if you're southbound I-15. Most of the delays that we had from the North Interchange down to downtown Salt Lake City are cleared out. Maybe a couple of spots where you're less than 70 miles an hour, but nothing too much. Legacy, Westside Belt, 89 are all clear. No problems on your major feeders over to I-15 either. Eric?
And we're looking solid in Utah County, too, northbound I-15 from Santaquin to Point of the Mountain. If you're going to do the whole stretch, it's a 30-minute drive. University Avenue is a little bit slow at some of the stoplights if you're heading from 300 South up to the BYU campus. And we got your usual delays eastbound on 2100 North from Redwood Road over to 2300 West, and then a little bit slowdowns continue if you're getting onto the freeway. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with a lovely Valentine's forecast. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with a high of 48. Rain showers likely tomorrow morning, then breaking up, high of 46. 47 partly cloudy on Friday, Saturday 49 dry as well. Rain showers on Sunday 48, then we pop it up to the 50s next week with a chance for showers on Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Look at that sun now. Beautiful. 39 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Do you hear that? If you're like many people, that's the sound of your money. Just lying there in a checking or savings account doing nothing when it could be out there earning more money for you. But at America First Credit Union, we can give your money a wake-up call.
What? What's that?
Rise and shine, Bucky. We can get your money working in a high-yield certificate account, earning you a much better return than traditional checking and savings. Up and at 'em, buddy. We gotta go.
Huh? Where are we going?
To America First. You'll love it there. They're gonna help you do so much awesome stuff.
All right, I'm coming.
So get your money working with a high-yield certificate from America First. Head to americafirst.com today to check out the latest amazing rates. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, conditions, and change. Federally insured by NCUA.
You know that feeling? The weather starts getting colder, so you go down to check out the furnace and you look around and think, what am I even looking at? Because you don't know how these things work with all the lights and wires and pipey things. And then you think, I bet those technicians at Whipple went to school for this. Shouldn't they be here looking at my furnace? Whipple that away. Knowing what to look for on your furnace tune-up is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. Take advantage of our $27 furnace tune-up at whipplethataway.com.
At Shane Company, we believe we're all made to shine. This Valentine's Day, celebrate the love of your life, your best friend, or your best self with unique fine jewelry from Shane Company. We're passionate about sourcing the most beautiful and vibrant gemstones from around the world so everyone can shine bright. We take the time to ensure each piece of jewelry is expertly crafted so it can be treasured forever. Visit Shane Company and discover Valentine's Day gifts for everyone, your new crush or your soulmate. Let them know how much you care with fine jewelry designed by us, guaranteed for life, for free. Radiant red rubies, pink sapphires, diamond hearts, gorgeous jewelry with all the colors and symbols of love. This Valentine's Day, give a necklace with a gemstone as special as your love, a gold ring engraved with a date you'll never forget, earrings that make their eyes sparkle. Give a gift that was made to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Dave and Dujanovic. Last year, home prices dipped, but that was last year. Now, home sales are expected to increase. We'll give you a first-time homebuyer's guide on what you can do to prepare. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. ESPN and the college football playoff have reportedly agreed to a 6-year deal worth $1.3 billion every year. It will allow the network to keep exclusive rights to the 12-team playoff through the 2031 season. Officials say negotiations are ongoing.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow is up 33 points. We're at 38,308. S&P's up 22. The Nasdaq up 94, which is 0.6%.
Give us a couple of minutes. We'll wrap up this morning drive. Next.
Finally, good news. Mortgage rates have come down and are getting better. This is Jason with American Home Loans. We have a new program at 5.75% fixed for 30 years. Yes, 5.75% fixed rate. After you do your loan with us, if rates go down by 0.5% or more, we will refinance you at no cost to you. We can refinance you every 6 months at no cost as rates continue to come down. If you're in the market to purchase, get your rate locked in at 5.75%. If you need to streamline your current FHA loan, do it at 5.75% fixed rate. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. 5.75% is a great rate to buy or refinance. Remember also that doing a loan with us allows you to refinance at no cost every time the rates go down by 0.5% or more. We have over 30 years of experience. American Home Loans, 801-262-2221, or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com.
5.98% APR. NMLS 245422. Equal housing lender.
There are two amazing productions, very different productions, on the stages right now at Hale Center Theater. One is Clue, that I thoroughly enjoyed. It is a madcap comedy, and as I mentioned, it has the greatest death scene I have ever seen on the stage. Then down the hall in the theater in the Round, it's Fiddler on the Roof. It is breathtaking. You are going to love both productions that are underway right now at Hale Center Theater, but there's so much more to come. May We All, a country musical, is coming up next. Then The Time Machine, The Nutty Professor, The Addams Family, which is wonderful, and The Magician's Elephant Plus. The season wraps up just before the Christmas production of A Christmas Carol, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Get your tickets now. Go to hct.org. And be sure to pick up gift cards, too. They're perfect just to slip in a thank you card. Go to hct.org.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 13 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Nevada, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, or other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 90 days from a station contest or event are not eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com.
8:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by